Show on 560 QAM. To talk to Neil, 567-0560. Toll free in Dade and Broward. Or South 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, guests and callers do not necessarily represent those of the broadcast crew, advertisers, or agencies. Now, here's Neil Rogers on 560 QAM. Just lick 'em. Boy!
Sunrise stages, it's not the place you should drive. We go much slower than you. Sunrise stages, it can make you just right. You're at the Taka Juice. Depends is what covers our ass. So we don't stand on double with white flag. Sunrise stages, it can make you boy, beware of the early bird, soft food. Boy, I'm not kidding you. You might find someone's 14 in the soup. Don't know what they're thinking, we try to think more deep. You in our team, we're wallowing in misery. Sunrise faces, it can make you just right. So bad like Uncle Q-Tip as you're driving, you can lose. It's your fire that the ambulance man's the kind of goodbye. Our borders is locked up in red light flies. Sunrise faces, might as well face it, we die. It's gonna happen soon. Boy! Sunrise faces, nice place to end in your life. It'll happen to you. Boy! I'll tell everybody death battle.
So what do you think the topic conversation about this building is today, George? How about those fans, huh? Every single person in this building, that's all they're talking about. I went to bed at halftime. I did the smart thing. And then I woke up this morning to the good news. I mean, the bad news in the paper there that they blew the lead. I mean, who cares? It's a ball game. Even Todd Dreck, that space cadet from our sales department, opens the door just seconds ago and says, how about those fans? And like I told you, this is the same guy who seriously asked me the other day, seriously, and then asked again the other day, because he's not convinced yet, can Bubba run for a third consecutive term? And I went, oh, yeah, Hey, look for the QM van from 11 to 1 today at Pack Mail, located next to the Winn-Dixie on Nob Hill and Cleary Boulevard in Plantation. Miguel will be there with CDs, cassettes, keychains, T-shirts. Where are those great keychains? I must have one buried under this somewhere. Yeah, those T-shirts are really nifty. And maybe if you got real balls, you'll actually wear them in public, but I doubt it. 11 to 1 at the Pack Mail right next to the Winn-Dixie on Nob Hill and Cleary Boulevard Plantation. Just look for the QM van and the lovely Miguel. And we're doing pretty damn well, Rhymes with Miguel. Look at that. On the internet, on our website, we got 12,280. We got to be getting close to 35 to 40 grand somewhere in that territory, wouldn't you think by now? And, of course, our CDs and cassettes are in specs all over South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, and, of course, in Naples and Fort Myers. And you can also order NeilRogers.com, WQAM.com, and you can order by calling Miguel's extension. Maybe he'll stick it out for you. 305-650-0156. He looked a little bit down in the dumps this morning, like a lot of other people in the building, because of a stupid ball game last night. And it goes to show you, same with the World Series, same with this NFL Monday Night Football, too late. Too late. I mean, I'm sure the finish was one of the most exciting, greatest conclusions in years in any game, in any sport. Did most of us see it? No. Of course not. Who the hell's going to be staying up until, especially in a lopsided game like that, or with Vinny in there, I guess you call it a lopsided game like that. Who's going to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning on a weeknight to watch a ball game? And the same with the World Series game the other night. You know, all these sports that try to get young people, try to get kids, involved and become fans and so on. Well, how are you going to do it when the kids have to go to bed before the game is over? Like the Mets-Yankee game wound up being a nail-biter in the ninth inning, 6-5. That also looked like a blowout. If they would start the goddamn baseball games at 7, without potchking around for 15 minutes, have a little bit of a ceremony, play the national anthem, go to commercial, 7:05, come back, start the game. And the same with Monday Night Football. Too bad they started at 8 o'clock and the ratings weren't as good. Too freaking bad. See, they don't care about whether the majority of the country gets to see it or not. All they care about is how many spots they can sell. Just like us. Just like us. We don't care about anything else. Just how many spots can we sell? Give me the effing money. Give us your money and don't complain. That's our motto here at QAM, and we're pretty proud of it. So proud that even Kevin Bastard wrote an article, which thanks to Greg being on the ball. And can you imagine Greg reading the business section? That's guy. Somebody must have tipped him off to it, given him a heads up.
Don't all those rich guys read the business section to see how their money is doing?
Well, that's right. He probably wants to see how those milk cartons are doing. WEDO ranks number 1 in Arbitron ratings by Kevin Baxter, and they buried it on page 3 in the business section, which I never would have seen it, except that Bluff ran around the building and said, Greg, it's a story. They screwed us. Yeah, they screwed us all right. And that's your friend, Kevin Baxter. And speaking of your friends, how about Matty Bell downstairs? You'd think that he'd be running up here already with our 10-2 breakdowns from this summer rating book. Huh? This is the important stuff. That's what it's all about, is the goddamn ratings, right?
No.
Come on. That's all we care about. Our poll yesterday. Well, let's take this call here first. Mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I have a question and a comment, and maybe you're the man I could ask.
Question first, yes.
Okay, question that I did buy the CD. It's wonderful. Good job, George.
Thank you.
The question is, I lost my voter registration, so what do you do to get another one so you can vote?
Call up the place, vote, whatever they call it. You know,
you're not screwed if you lose that?
No, I don't think so. I think that they can make somebody. You still got 2 weeks.
Cool, very good. And my comment is, even though last night's game turned out crappy, it was, you hear all about the New York fans and they're this and that. 30,000 people in the third quarter.
But come on, let's get serious. Nobody in any town at that late hour of the night on a weeknight, nobody would have stuck around. They're ahead by 30-3 or whatever the hell it was, 30-7.
Neil. I agree, but the reputation is they're the greatest fans and loyal and passionate.
Well, let me just say this to you. At least they show up. At least they fill the place. They don't have to have the TV stations buy out the last 1,500 tickets every week to get the game on TV.
You're not helping my argument here.
Okay.
See ya.
I mean, you can knock New York all you want, and like the Islanders don't have any fans because they also don't have any team, but and they got a crappy arena that's falling apart. But at least they show up. I'll say that for them. There are real sports cities, and then there's this town. But they're all whining today. Wah, wah. I love it. I love when they whine a lot. I get sexual excitement from it. Our poll question yesterday, should we declare a moratorium on discussion of Gore and Bush until after the election, which is 2 weeks from today. Like that. 2 weeks from today. And CNN all of a sudden discovered yesterday that it's a lot closer than they thought. Yeah. Just because they don't want to be so badly out of step with every other poll in America, they decided that Bush is not ahead by 9 or 10 points. It's only by 2 points. What a concept. I'll get to the poll in a minute. See, I'm even milking that. And then I'm going to milk these ratings. I got some ratings for you. I'm going to tell you, if you haven't laughed a good loud belly laugh, and if you haven't wet your pants in a long time, today is the day. Today is the day, people. I got some numbers for you that will make you pee in your pants from now till midnight. I guarantee you. You'll be squeezing that bag. You'll be squeezing something. That's one of the great mysteries in the history of the human race. How does that man keep a job? What kind of naked pictures of Rana Fink-Wolf and Aardvark has he got in that drawer somewhere, in his drawers? Man. 10:09 at 560 WQAM, your highly rated station in men.
No portion of this program may be reproduced without the written permission of WQAM BC Broadcast Group Incorporated.
Havelberry's got a huge pair!
Wait, that's it hard.
Good morning, Sassy.
Yeah, hi. I saw your ad. Packers needed.
Yes.
I'm your guy.
Okay.
Let me talk to somebody.
Okay, that's Monday through Friday from 7 to 3.
I'm in.
And do you know Spanish?
Si, señorita.
Okay.
Poquito más, Taco Bell. Drop the chalupa. Uy, como ma.
Okay.
Let me talk to somebody in charge.
Okay, well, you need to come into the office and fill out an application.
Yeah, I understand. Can I please get past the receptionist? I need to talk to somebody because I'm an experienced Packer.
Okay, please hold.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Nancy. Can I help you?
Nancy?
Yeah.
Take your ad out of the paper.
Why is that?
And assume the position.
Excuse me?
I am ready.
You are ready for what?
You're looking for a Packer, right?
I need 100 Packers.
Oh, God.
I don't need just one.
You're ready to pull a train.
I am.
Because I'm the King Fudge Packer.
Excuse me?
Assume the position.
I will not.
Will I be doing it on you?
Who are you? I'm about ready to hang up on you.
Don't hang up on me.
I'm ready.
You know what I'd like to hear? Because if you can take 100 guys, you can do this. Grab your ankles and make the phone go bye-bye. I want to listen. See if it'll echo. Hello?
10:13 at 560 WQAM. Have I got some numbers for you? I still can't get over these. We're still quelling from this. Anyway, so Kevin Baxter in the Herald, our close personal friend, writes an article in the business section of all places they stick it today. See, I don't understand. If it has to do with Spanish language radio or TV, it's in the Living Today section in the Herald and the Sun Sentinel. But if it has to do with anything with radio that has to do with people that speak English, some of us, then it's buried somewhere. I think maybe some of the people at the Herald that make these decisions ought to be buried somewhere soon. Anyway, it's on page 3, whatever that is, C in the business section. WEDR ranks number 1 in Arbitron ratings. Here's a call in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, funny thing about your radio station during that football game last night, right towards the end of the game, they played commercials during two of the touchdowns back-to-back. They played about 5 minutes of commercials.
All right. Well, we got to get them all in, you know.
Yeah, I like listening to Manage when the Dolphins are losing. It's probably one of the most enjoyable things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a homer. Have a good one,
Well,
Neil.
why not? That's what we like. What's wrong with a homer? Probably a Jets fan. Sound like a New Yorker to me. And I interrupted myself for that. Our poll yesterday, should we declare a moratorium on discussions of Gore and Bush on the show till after the election? Yes, 452, no, 409. Very, very close, 862 votes. Am I going to pay any attention to that?
No.
No, because obviously the people who would like me to declare a moratorium are mostly the Bush people. Sure. Oh, yeah, don't let that faggot talk about it next 2 weeks. That's a good idea. Then let's talk about silly stuff and play a lot of farting noises. Yeah, then we won't get those Gore people out there to vote. Yeah, they're going to start getting real nervous again because now it's getting real tight again. Every single poll, CBS, MSNBC, and now even the right-wing CNN poll, the Gallup people, it's only 2 points apart. How do you like that? And this is before Larry Flint comes out with all the stuff about Bush and that gorilla or whatever it was. Yeah. Speaking of gorillas, WEDR ranks number 1 in Arbitron ratings. See, this was a very ethnic book. I'm trying to tell George so he doesn't feel so bad about losing that gigantic chunk of our audience, even though he was number 1 in Midday and Men, which is all we care about. We get our bonus money, and not only do we get the bonus for the summer, which is kind of a weak bonus. See, that's a cop-out on their part. Well, you know, summer is way down, so we cut the bonuses in half. Right. Try to glay us down, Greg. But then they give us, also a little bit of a bonus for the overall station in Men. And guess what? We're number 3, damn it. Yeah, because the mornings went up a little bit. Hank held his own after a very strong spring book, held on to that 5-4. So we're number 3, damn it, overall, and George was number 1. But Kevin Baxter, he puts a little bit different spin on it. See, like I said, very strong ethnic. WEDR went way up. Wacky, as we're still up there. Power 96, way to hell up. Oh, and what is our good, close personal friend, Kid Curry, who does not provide me with any of that music? See, I don't understand it. Unless maybe he's just an asshole. John and I provide him all that European music, of which he plays some of it on the air, actually, like The Rude, which is very popular with the kids who listen to Power 96, and he returns the favor by stiffing me, so to speak. Not giving me my copy of that great CD. And then, of course, 98 Degrees, which we had to go out and actually pay money for, but it was worth it. You're a blowhard, kid, Curry, with his 5-year-old wife. He says, we really work at doing well in the summer. We've really concentrated on that, and it's worked. Says WPOW Program Director Kid Scurvy, whose station relies heavily on teenage listeners. When you look at the kind of music we play, we should do well in the summer. But now that school's back in, that's all going to fall apart. Well, you talk about an excuse beforehand. He's already making excuses before the fall book even starts getting going. Oh, yeah, the kids are back in school. We're going to suck. They do okay. They do all right. Especially when you listen to that music. Somehow they do all right. And guess who's got a real dilemma now? Guess who moved into the top 10 in 12 plus? Does anybody really care about 12 plus? No. Which includes all those old people? And you know there had to be a lot of wired diaries for WTMI. They moved up to number 8, 12 plus. So now the Cox people have got a real dilemma over there. Just when the rumor I was hearing that we were getting ready to blow that classical crap out of the water very soon, like any minute, And now the excuse can't be, well, we can't build an audience because they're number 8. Number 8. And some of the clowns who listen to this show pretend that when George was on during the summer, they were listening to WTMI. Does anybody believe that?
No.
Anybody believe that people listen to the Neil Rogers show? Listens to WTMI?
No.
No. Classical music? Oh, man. Pseudo-intellectual crap at best. Anyway, Kevin Baxter goes on to say, Neil Rogers' 10-week summer vacation cost Sports Talk station WQAM-AM nearly a third of its listeners in the station's target audience, men aged 25 to 54, during Rogers' 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. p.m.'s weekday slot. But the station still finished number 1 in that demographic for the time period. Oh! Overall, among all listeners measured by Arbitron, WQAM finished 20th in the market, 4 places behind English language news talk station WIOD. That's 12 plus, asshole. And of course, does anybody care about 12 plus? No. Because even in midday 12 plus, they kick the crap out of us because it's the old people listening to Lord Ass and Dr. Laura. All those old, scurvy old farts. Can they sell those old people? No. Unless they're selling prune juice and laxatives. That's the only thing they can sell. Polident, Denture Grip, Mineral Ice. That's what they got on those old people shows. So, if you understood what the ratings were all about, Kevin, maybe you'd write an article that could be in the newspaper, much less in the business section, which has to do with dollars and cents, of which you have none, especially the last part. None. Also, I might point out, not to defend George, because he don't need no defending, but the fact is that Howard went down like anywhere from 1 to 2 points, depending on the demographic, went down all the way. And the reason being, just like the reason we went down here in some of the demos, is because it was a strongly ethnic book again. Schwarzers don't listen to Howard. Schwarzers don't listen to this show. They don't listen to this station except the sports shows when they call in to act about stupid basketball questions and stuff like that. And like about last night's ball game. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Yeah, that's it. Well, what are you laughing about? That's where it's at. Give me the ball. Give me a brain, okay? That's what you should be saying. Give me a brain. Give me a book. Give me some knowledge. Let me be like a living and breathing, thinking human being crawling around on this planet instead of some automaton. So listen, if you thought Brooke Shields, Babbling Brooke, if you thought her numbers were bad, and if you thought Liz was really not too wild, you're going to be wild about Ed Till's numbers on Stupid Talk, baby. Let me say it again. And Rick and Fred's are moving up there. Those midday shows not doing too good over there. No.
Are you sure?
Positive. I checked it several times. No, they got no story. The only story they have on this station is Morning Rick and Spud. That's the only story they got. Our good, close, personal friends, Rick and Suds, whom we like a lot, especially Suds. But take a look now at 3 to 7 p.m. First, let's look at 12 plus to see if maybe they have some old people over there listening to Ed Till. Isn't that who's on now? That Liz Wild got canned because she didn't belong in here in the first place? Isn't that who it is, Ed Till?
Uh-huh.
1.0, this is persons 12 plus, 3 to 7 p.m. on 940 Stupid Talk. A 1.0 in the spring book. This time they've got, wait till you hear that, strap yourselves in tight, boys and girls. You may fall off the edge of your seat. 50,000 watts in the middle of the dial. They've got a 0.3. Yeah. Oh. Now, okay, so 12 plus. Like I said, who cares about 12 plus? That's all a lot of people. Maybe in the younger demographics they got some audience, huh?
No.
Yeah, in the afternoon. Men 25 to 54. Here we go. The Babbling Brook, of course. She was doing like ones, I think. Something like that. There was never any story. And then Liz Wild, she was like losing, like about, here, in the last book, spring of this year, in the afternoon, they had a 1.1. Strap yourselves in again tight. Hang on real tight. Wipe off the debris from the first spurt. Here we go. 3 to 7 p.m., men 25 to 54, a 0.4. Tied for 30th. Woo! Nice going, Pete, baby. That Pete Bolger, he's the best, you know? He'd be the best. Oh, God. And he's still there. This is the thing. We love him. Nobody loves him more than we do. Because that's the kind of competition that people dream of. People would stab their grandma in the back to be able to have that kind of competition. Here's the mobile in North Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How's it going this morning?
Okay.
Did you watch those senatorial debates last night?
No, I did not. Especially when I saw Willie Logan on there. What the hell was he doing there?
I don't know. I think they're all a bunch of idiots. But he was the only one that had anything. They brought up the subject of same-sex marriages, of course, and same-sex relationships and all that. And what I want to know is who gives these people the right to decide whose relationship is sacred and whose isn't. I mean, they need to loosen up their grip on their fairy tale book and just, let people live their own lives.
Well, I'm voting for Bill Nelson myself.
Where is Nelson?
Yeah,
I am too.
I'm not voting for that howdy doody clown.
He still doesn't agree with.
Well, neither does Al Gore.
Well, I know.
It's not politically correct. Okay, just lighten up and have a great day, and don't worry about gay marriages. Okay, that's going to be the criteria on which I'm going to be, criterion that I'm going to base my vote on, is whether this candidate supports gay marriages. Get with it, sir. All I can say is...
Where is Nelson?
Right there on the ballot, right above McKellen, is going to beat the crap out of him. And you know something? Guess who was in town yesterday, speaking of Bill McCallum, and speaking of goody two-shoes and finger-pointing? Guess who was here yesterday? Sucking up. In fact, he's on the front page. This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life for a guy that's supposed to be all that religious. He's just squeezing pee-pee on the front page. There, look, he doesn't believe me. He's laughing. There's the picture right there. He's squeezing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Democratic Vice Presidential candidate Drew Lieberman hugs Cuban-American National Foundation Chairman Francisco Pepe Hernandez in Miami. Yeah, he's giving the Pepe a big hug right there on the front page of the Herald. A big hug and a squeeze for Pepe from Drew Lieberman. And see, he reminds me a lot of, in fact, if you put the glasses on him, I think he and Bill McCallum are the same guy without the dye job. Because he was the first Democrat, you'll recall. All these, and here's the big story in the Sentinel about Jews. Jews love Lieberman. They're all coming out Jews. You know something? I'm embarrassed. I'm really humiliated. I'm humiliated. Because he was the first Democrat to come out, and the only one who came out so just wildly and viciously when the Monica Penisgate thing was going on. He was the one that came out about how it was disgusting and unacceptable and giving a big lecture. And, of course, here was Bubba was the one that helped campaign to get him in the Senate. First time he ran. But don't count on me for my support, because my mezuzah on the door is the only thing that counts in my life, and I got to be judgmental. I got to be a real judgmental piece of crap. So he was as much of a finger pointer, even though he didn't co-conspire and he didn't vote for impeachment in the Senate, thank goodness, but nevertheless, he was almost as bad as McCallum, who was one of those rabid right-wing zealots, you recall. It was a penis. It was a penis. Or whatever the hell they were saying, yeah. Well, a guy from California, the one with the bad wig, he never saw a penis. What the hell's his name? The one that... He's going to get his ass kicked, too, this time. I can't think of his name. The one with the real bad hairpiece that kind of sits off to the side, like on the corner of his head.
Jerry Witcher.
Yeah, Jerry Witcher. Oh, yeah, well, you won't see him no more. How's that guy with the sandwiches doing? 26 after 10 at 560 WQAM. 881 votes. Look at that, 459 to 421. You can stop voting on that thing now because, as usual, I'll do whatever the hell I want anyway. And all you Bush people that are trying to get us to dummy up about what a moron your candidate is, we're not going to do it. And what a bunch of bigots so many of you are. See, that's the thing that I find detestable and disgusting, is that most of the stuff that comes in, especially on a fax machine, is from all these right-wing, hateful, obnoxious bigots. The Bush people. That's the crowd, I'm telling you. That's the Jeb Bush crowd. Make no mistake about it. 26 after 10 at 560 WQM.
We're number one, damn it! We're ladies from the Twilight Zone, which means we're really men, but who would have known? We're just fellas looking for boyfriends. We're fishing at the club, but we're catching nothing. We're boys, just like girls, cutest girls in the world. We're feeling hot to try, so our hunting just won't stop.
Tonight I found a man who was tall and burly. He freaked out. He found out I was no girly whirly.
And me found a blonde who got pissed off, went to kiss him, and suddenly my wig fell off.
But we got our hair done and our nails done too. The folks down there must have given them a clue. Every time we sneak a pinch to their buns, they just turn around, look at us and run. We're ladies from the Twilight Zone. We're really men who would have known. We're fellas looking for boyfriends. We're fishing at the club, but catching nothing.
The Twilight Zone, which means we're really men, but who would have known?
We're just fellas looking for boyfriends. We're fishing at the club, but we're catching nothing.
10:30 at 560 WQAM. And don't forget to vote for Willie Nelson as a vote. Willie Nelson? Willie Logan. Oh, Willie Nelson with a bandana. Willie Logan is a vote for Bill McCollum. Just like a vote for Ralph Nader is a vote for George W. And this Nader thing is starting to get me really, really pissed off. Big article in the, which paper? Herald today. Nader candidacy may throw key votes to Bush in like half a dozen states. Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan and Maine. Oregon, Washington. 6 states that Nader could swing the balance because these people out there, these tree huggers, are just too rabid and too stupid to understand that a vote for Nader is a vote for Bush. Very, very tragic, very sad. What's the point? That's the obvious question. What is the point? Being stubborn and obstinate, just like Nader himself. Everybody he knows, every ally he's ever had the last 20 or 30 years since he was doing that thing with the Corvairs and the fan belts, has begged him to drop out. Get out of here and don't spoil the election. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm a big shot. Yeah. Whatever you say. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir?
Does Gore have a chance in the election, you think?
What does that mean? Is that a serious question?
Sure.
You have to ask me that? Does he have a chance when the polls are like within 2 points?
Is it 2? Who's up, Bush?
Are you listening to the show?
Yes.
You listening to the show?
Yes.
Are you following along? Are you following on the dotted line?
Uh-huh.
The bouncing ball?
Yeah.
Okay, bounce this. Okay, here's our last call today. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes?
Neil, this town is ready to, commit suicide right now. First Alonso goes down, and now the Dolphins lose one game.
This is not a sports show. I don't care.
Well, they're all going to go crazy.
Yeah. You mean all these people that don't go to the games in the first place are all going to go crazy? Okay, thank you so much. That's the end of our call today. Because the Dolphins blew a huge lead and lost the ball game last night. I'm not discussing that here today. If you want to discuss that, go down to the highly rated end of the dial, 2500 on the AM dial, and I'm sure I'll be happy to take your call. I'm not interested. We've only got 20 hours of gnashing of teeth and crying and moaning about that the rest of the day. I'm not going to do that. I didn't watch the last half, and I'm glad I didn't. I need my beauty sleep, okay? When you're as ugly as I am, you need all the beauty sleep you can get. Don't help, but at least you think it might help someday. Can't hurt. 567-0560. How's line 6 doing today, by the way, George? Still not working. See, I just pressed it up at the beginning. Here we got these great numbers. George did a hell of a job in the summertime. We can't get the powers that be in here to go to bat for us and get the phone company in here, get these phones unscrambled. How about line 5? Oh, thank you. It works, although it sounded a little bit funky this morning, isn't it? 567-0560. It's one call at a time day today. One at a time. Now, we told you, we don't want to talk about it like it's boring. You know what? Too bad. Go sit there and cry in your beer. Cry in your goddamn Heineken over the fact your team sucked and blew in the fourth quarter in the overtime last night and blew a 500-point lead. Performed an almost impossible task. Let me just tell you this. This should be your worst problem. Like I told the guy yesterday, the fact that the Dolphins lost the game last night, this should be your worst problem. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
George, shut.
Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Is it me?
Sounds like you.
How are you doing?
Okay.
You are the voice of sanity when all this craziness hits. When the Elion thing was going on, you were the only one that was the voice of sanity.
Yeah.
And now we got this election thing going on.
Yeah.
And again, the voice of sanity.
Yes.
And you know what? I used to get back to the Dolphin game. I used to.
I don't want to get back to the Dolphin game. I don't want to talk about the Dolphin game.
I just want to make one comment.
Yeah. I'm here.
I used to get so upset when they lose. But now, if I watched the game last night, stayed up till 1:30, and when they lost, I just turned it off and said, oh, well, they lost. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right when you said if that's the worst thing that should happen to you. So,
see, this is the problem with priorities in America. Things that are really important, things like hockey games, things like the election, nobody cares about. But stupid, idiotic things like some dumb football game. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? And we're so embarrassed. God, get a life.
We need to get some more people holding up Gore Lieberman signs. I see it.
Something I'm glad you mentioned about the signs. One of my neighbors a couple blocks away, I was doing my strawberry shortcut yesterday going to the store. One of my neighbors has got a Bush Gore sign on the lawn, Bush Cheney sign on the lawn.
I think you should get a Corvette, drive up on his lawn, and give him a nice lawn
You can be for whoever you want, but why in God's name do you have to put it on your front lawn? It's like the people with the fish symbols on their car. You can believe whatever fairy tales you want, but why do you have to flaunt it and stick it in my face?
Yep, I was driving the other day. There was Bush people on every corner waving the signs, Bush, for president, and everyone's blowing the horn. You know, I don't understand. I'm praying he doesn't win.
Maybe it's like them holding up a sign saying, look how stupid I am.
Oh, God, that guy's a blundering idiot.
Bozo, yeah, okay. Good luck to us, pal.
All right, same to you.
See ya. Same to you, George. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Let's go. Let's get some serious action here today and get out of that deep funk, okay? So the goddamn team lost the ball game. Who cares? Life will go on. They look pretty damn good for 3 quarters. They look like world beaters. So what's the problem? So they kind of like folded up their tent and sucked. Big deal. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good morning. I've been away for 11 years, okay?
Congratulations.
I know.
That's why you sound so happy.
Hey, do you want to hear this? I'm relocating back down here. Thank you very much. So, but it's like deja vu all over again because 11 years I come back and what do I hear the other day? Somebody calls you and asks you what Sandy Payton's doing, and somebody's calling mentions Jerry Wichner's dead, and then you're mentioning Pete Bolger, and the next thing I know, somebody's going to ask about Alice Rantel and Steve Taylor.
That was yesterday. We had that yesterday. Some broad, yeah.
Oh my! Is this place stuck in a time warp?
Yes.
And then
now you got it. Now you're catching on.
The Jets beat the Dolphins, and late in the game again. I mean, it's almost like maybe I should just go ahead and wrap myself in a cocoon and
don't say cocoon.
Is that politically correct?
Yeah.
And start breathing maybe in about 50, 60 years from now. But this is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the best part about it all though is the discussion of, George and how he screwed up the numbers. But I've enjoyed that immensely.
George was number 1 in men. That's our target demo. Okay, the number wasn't as big as it was before, but what difference does it make?
It doesn't make any difference.
It's like winning a horse race. If you win by a nose or you win by 20 lengths, it still pays at the window. What difference does it make?
We're number 1, damn it.
That's right.
And then, of course, by accident, it was another one of those horrible radio accidents.
Oh, no.
I hit 9:40 in the morning, and who do I hear?
Rick and Pud.
Things just don't change. It's unbelievable.
Damn it. Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, it's wonderful to hear you, and I'm just so thrilled to be back. If there's any good news about being back down here, at least I get to get the Neil Rogers.
That's because I'm on the air. That's right. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll pray for you. So Rick and Sons, he was listening to by accident, he said.
Well, that makes us feel like duty.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Rolling along, singing a song. 2 weeks from today, it's the erection, baby. Yeah. And the Jews are all worked up. There's an interesting article here about the Jews that are going to come out and vote because Lieberman's on the ticket, but just as many Republicans are going to come out and vote for Bush because Lieberman's on the Democratic ticket. So it kind of like neutralizes itself. The good old boys, the rednecks, the yahoos, who otherwise might stay home. I think that's a good poll question. I was going to ask that before. Let's ask it today. Would you vote for an African-American for president? Yes or no? That's our poll question today. Honest answers. No beating around the bush, so to speak. What is it? Would they vote for an African-American for president? Yes or no? Now, see, how about Colin Powell? He's pretty light-complected. No, we're not naming names. In addition to which, that's the only reason they like him is because he's not dark. I'm talking about a real African-American. Not like Malcolm on Young and Horny. He's almost white.
Who would be a contender? Not ridiculous people like Jesse Jackson.
How about J.C. Watt from Oklahoma, that real dark former football player? Louis Farrakhan.
What about Kwesi or Mfume?
He's not dark enough. 20 before 11 at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Talk dirty to me.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit.
Oh!
He's a rich spoiled brat and a cocaine junkie. What's he gonna do with all that campaign money? He's gonna get give a crap about people going hungry, but don't confuse them with the facts. We can't find your rap sheet, it just disappeared. We're looking all over and it still ain't here. Hey, Georgie Jr., where'd your rap sheet go? Are you afraid that we'll find out that you did blow? You were a rich college kid, a drunken party punk, and you got pinched for possession of drugs by a rich bitch like you. You can hire a judge to get some Ajax blender and a big fat sponge. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. What?
Oh, black.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Come on. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Yes, George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit.
10:45 at 560 WQAM. The nose knows. Here's some more quotes. Thank you, Elliot. We've had a lot of these we've already had. Here's some more direct quotes from George W. He says, if we don't succeed, we run the risk of failure. If Republicans, he says, Republicans understand the importance of bondage between a mother and child. Yeah. Well, Joan Crawford used to tie her kids up. Mars is essentially in the same orbit. Mars is somewhat the same distance from the sun, which is very important. We've seen pictures where there are canals, we believe, in water. If there is water, that means there is oxygen. If oxygen, that means we can breathe. The Holocaust was an obscene period in our nation's history. I mean, in this century's history, but we all lived in this century. I didn't live in this century. Direct quote, September 15th, 1995. George W. And on the coast. Because basically, what he's always telling you is the same message. It's, I'm really dumb. And I speak in glittering generalities, and I'm not a guy who can get everybody to work together. Right. Did he do that in Texas?
No.
No. 5670560. Don't forget, Miguel will be there with that QAM van 11 o'clock, just a few minutes from now, 11 to 1 at the Pac Mail, next to Winn-Dixie on Nob Hill and Cleary in Plantation with the best Neil CDs and cassettes. And somewhere I got it buried under this mound of crap, under my mounds. And I'll enjoy those great keychains and the T-shirts, too. Here's the mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was watching the game at a sports bar last night, and I just want to say that the Dolphins...
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T Verizon the wireless lines. Out-of-town lines open 877-785-6345. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I enjoy your program. Hey, listen, you remember years ago, Eleanor Malthonius, the judge?
Yeah, the hanging judge,
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering whatever happened to her.
Oh, yeah, she probably ran off with Alice Rantel, wouldn't surprise me, and Jerry Wichner's body. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I want to say, and I know you're going to disagree with me, I'm voting for Bush, and the reason is because you're a fat Jew fag.
Oh, that's a good reason.
I didn't know you were running.
No, but I pushed him over the edge. I pushed him over the other side. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. And see, that's the Bush mentality right there. That's not just the George W. That's the Jeb Bush mentality, too. A bunch of homophobic, bigoted, narrow-minded, professional goyim, anti-Semitic, and that's what they're all about. Racist. Would you vote for an African-American for president? We got 11 votes already. 7 said yes, 4 said no. This could be very interesting. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. This is the first time I've heard you, and I'm thrilled to death that there's finally someone with enough sense in their head to tell it like it is.
First time you've heard this program? I've only been on here 25 years.
Well, I've only been in Florida a year.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, I like to thank you and keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Have a good one.
I'll pray for you. Okay, there's another guy with nothing to say, but he's on our side, whatever that means, huh? They got nothing to say. Just like yesterday. That's why I took the poll on the moratorium, because we had a bunch of 90-year-old people calling in, well, you know, Bush is Social Security, blah. You know, repeating the same old tired crap, which is boring. Nobody wants to hear that garbage. I mean, you can't complain about the art of communication in this town because there isn't any. That's what it boils down to. When you take the fact that first we got all those ethnic stations that have those gigantic shares, we got the enormous numbers of people who live here who never ever listen to English language radio, and certainly enormous numbers of people who never ever would listen to AM radio on a bet. And then you combine that with this great call-in audience that we got out there, and we're still doing this well. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Exactly. I couldn't say it better myself. It's mind-boggling. You can just imagine first if we were on FM, if we were on a market where like we didn't have 90% of the people professional ethnics, and if we were in a market where we had like people that were a little more friendly and outgoing and had something to say, as opposed to, you're a fat fag. They already know that, okay? It's not a bulletin. They already know I'm a fat fag. Well, next point, you know? What's your point, asshole? God. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hi, a little glimmer of hope here. First time calling to your listeners. A little glimmer of hope. I was thinking, that the polls until the recent shift, have shown that George W. was ahead. But then again, what about the fact that maybe they're not polling in the right places where a lot of the people don't have the computers or the access or the lower income opinion is being shown here?
The lower income opinion?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, just like I
thought poor folks went out of business. I like poor folks. They had like the white soup and the red soup at poor folks.
But you know what I mean? The working class, the real people of America, maybe they are being hurt here.
Yeah. Okay, whatever you say, sir. Just vote 3 or 4 times and we'll be okay. Yeah, poor folks. That was interesting. Let's take a poll on that. Which do you like better, Sambos, poor folks, or Wags? I miss Wags. Sambos. No, Wags.
They had that artwork on the wall.
Wags was best by test, baby. I loved Wags. When I used to work till midnight all those years talking to dead people, many a night at midnight. That's one of the reasons I'm still such a fat fag is because of all those meals in those years. Well, when you eat after work at midnight, that's a bad time to be eating a big meal.
You couldn't get coffee for a dime at Wags.
I don't care. I'm not one of those cheap bastards like you are. I actually have been making more than $2 an hour most of my life. I think in those days I'm making about $3.75. But anyway, Wags was great, and it would open around the clock. What happened to that?
Corner, as a matter of fact, where the bank is now.
Really? You see how we're getting screwed? All you people out there who just wake up one day and all those places you like are all gone? It just frosts my goddamn fat ass to think that Wags used to be pretty damn good. What do we got left now? We got Denny's. Yeah, that's what we got. Freaking Denny's. Oh, God, there's a Denny's right by my house. The only thing they got is those Mother Hummer pies. That's the only good crap they got.
Yeah,
I will give them that, huh? No, because Mother Hummer sends them in there. Oh, those are good. Those banana cream pies and chocolate cream pies. Can't eat those, can I?
No.
Well, not if you're looking.
Does it make you fat if nobody sees you eating it?
That's correct. That is absolutely correct. The calories only count if somebody sees you eating them. That's what I always say. Isn't working too good, but I've always felt that way. Here's Dania. Hello.
Hi. Neil.
Yes, sir.
Very important, I believe. The new Rolling Stone has Al Gore on the cover.
This is old news.
It dissects every issue. I believe that your young listeners ought to take a chance here and give it a peruse.
Take a chance and check out his pants?
In so many words.
The airbrushed, okay.
The bottom line, it's frightening just to talk to young people and see what their reaction is. And when they come back to you and say...
But it's always been that way. It's nothing new. We were the same way when we were that age.
Yeah, they don't have a clue about
young people, because of the fact education is so crappy in this country and nobody knows nothing about civics, they don't even know who the candidates are.
Right. A guy on CNBC last night, professor with all kinds of Silicon Valley credentials, he was saying functional illiteracy is at 22%. It's probably double that.
50%.
At least.
It's 50%. I mean, it's not where did he come up with that number. It's at least 50%.
And those are the people who are voting.
That's correct. Have a great day, sir. That is right. That's why they like that. They like dumb. Bigoted and dumb. That's the American effing way. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Let's hear about it. What's wrong with those Dolphins?
Hey!
And speaking of what's wrong, I've got 2 faxes from ladies about the Panthers and about how they hate the BM and TM boys like poison. And who the hell are they kidding? Tomorrow night you got the New Jersey Devils, the defending Stanley Cup champions who swept the Panthers in the playoffs last year, you'll recall. I'm sure you'll recall. Uh-huh. They'll be here at the Mac Arena tomorrow night. That could be really, really ugly. And I read with much amusement and interest Dave Joseph, of all people, writes the hockey column in Sun Sentinel this morning, in which TM says, but it doesn't say a damn thing. except they got a bunch of injured defensemen. Of course, that's no excuse why they couldn't score even one goal against the girls team, the expansion Minnesota Vile. Oh, and NTM comes up with, a great story about how when they play other teams, they play better because we were so good last year. So when they go into Montreal in the Molson Center and play the Canadiens, they have to, pull up their jockstrap a little bit tighter and play even that much better against us because they want to beat us because we were so good. Have we played Montreal this year?
No.
So what the hell is he talking about? What is this man talking about? See, these are the kind of incoherent ramblings you get from anybody who's about to get canned. The ramblings coming from TM. He knows damn well his ass is right on the line, and probably his brother too, and your mama. That's right. I can't wait for the opportunity to play that song. You know which one it is?
Goodbye, Bright Marie.
Oh, get those buttons out again.
Yeah, but the youngsters in the organization are going to be something special this year.
And how come there's all those empty sheets? 10:55 at 560 WQAM.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley broadcast station, and WQAM.com for the world.
Grab my junior, honey.
Even the problem is you're not talking to your son. You barely say 2 words to him, then you call me.
One full hour of the hottest talk on radio. The doctor is in.
Masturbate, okay?
Okay.
All right, masturbate and call me back in a couple of weeks.
Dr. Visco.
Hello, you're on the air with Dr. Visco, and how may I help?
Dr. Visco?
Yes.
Yeah, listen, I'm in a lot of pain.
Sure.
I'm bleeding.
Sure.
My arm is bleeding.
Sure.
And,
I am not that kind of doctor. Are you familiar with Dr. Dean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you should be calling Dr. Dean's show. He could help you out with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So do that. And listen, while you're on hold, masturbate.
Okay.
All righty?
Dr. Visco, weekdays at noon.
It's 11 o'clock at 560 WQAM. We got Hank at 2. We got Goldie on game night. Oh, that's tomorrow night. Hank is at Flagler this afternoon. We got Al Downing with Hank at 4. With Lamar Thomas at 5. That should be a tearjerker. And then we got Brewster at 6. World Series game number 3. Yankees and the Mets 8 o'clock tonight. Get that thing over with. Here's a partial transcript. I thank you profusely for faxing this to me, whoever did, of the Larry Flint interview on Friday, CNN Crossfire. Or is that, as Bob Novak says, Crossfire? Bob Novak. Mr. Flint never let up. He said that we censor any of our guests here on Crossfire, and you said you wanted to talk about the election. Tell me what you wanted to say. Flint. Well, during the impeachment debacle, we did an investigation which resulted in the resignation of Bob Livingston and others, and we continued this investigation, and for 8 months we've been looking into George W. Bush's background. And we found out in the early 1970s he was involved in an abortion in Texas, and I just think that it's sad the mainstream media, who's aware of this story, won't ask him that question when they were able to ask him the drug question without any proof at all, and we've got all kinds of proof on this issue. Novak, well, you're Flint. Well, you know, the guy admitted he was drunk for 20 years, and if the abortion issue was true, then that puts him lower on the morality scale than Bill Clinton. Novak, Mr. Flint, you said if it's true and you have no proof of that, I gather you're a very strong Flint. The hell we don't have proof. Novak, sir, I gather you're a very strong Gore supporter. Is that correct? Flint, I'll vote for the lesser of two evils. I don't like either one of them. Bill Press, all right, Larry Flint, a man who speaks his word, but we remind you that these are Larry Flint's words and not ours. Running away, of course, from whatever might be out there. Yeah, why don't we hear more about that? And how come nobody is brought... See, they're so terrified to bring this crap up about a man who's got a substance abuse problem. Because even if the drug stuff isn't true, he's an admitted alcoholic, and there's no such thing as an ex-alcoholic. I keep telling you that. We don't want to hear about it. Okay. 2 calls on this board here today. This continues being another one of the worst weeks in our history of this show. 2 weeks before Election Day. As I tried desperately to beat these people over the head and knock some goddamn sense into them and get them off their dead ass. And not worry about whether Jew Lieberman is Jewish or whether this one is Goyish or all this other stupid crap or whether Willie Logan is black as the ace of spades. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Desperate. Here's a mobile in Okeechobee. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
I don't live in Okeechobee. I'm just driving through there.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, me too. But it's pretty scary. A lot of horns around here. A lot of horns. Neil, I was going to tell you, over in Tampa, the Bush supporters, they got this deal over there. They drive around in packed cars with flags. They beat their horn. They weave in and out of traffic and wave to people.
Now, what do you expect over there?
Well, again, you got a point there. You know what?
Because you know what we say down here about Tampa.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Well, Hayes isn't on the ticket this year, and who's going to get my vote? That's Joe Walsh.
What?
Joe Walsh, remember? Joe Walsh for president?
No.
All right.
What does that mean?
Well, remember, that was the big thing there back in 74.
But what does that mean? Well, why did you just say that? What is the point? What is it that I'm missing that's evading me desperately?
Because he makes more sense than anything.
Okay, great. 567-0560, pound 560. See, what's with these people? They're walking around on the loose. They need to be institutionalized. They need to be put away, especially 2 weeks from today. They need to be locked in securely for 24 hours. Stop talking double talk. Stop talking crap. Stop trying to be a little stupid, pseudo-intellectual jackass. Oh, I'm going to vote for Gus Hall. I know he's dead, but it'd be kind of funny. I'll write him in. You're dealing, and when they came up with that expression, the masses are asses. Believe me when I tell you.
That's the American fucking way.
Exactly. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir?
Hey, I was just wondering, has the World Wrestling Federation come out with an endorsement yet on this presidential race?
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura?
Uh-huh.
That'll never work.
Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How are you doing today?
Okay.
I'm the guy who sent you that fax on the Larry Flander interview.
Thank you.
I got that right after I saw the show. It happened to be on. I made the mistake of listening to it. But I got the transcript about 10 minutes after the show was over, and about 3 hours later, it's gone. That's the only archived show that they do not have on their database.
How do you like that?
Yeah, it's interesting.
This sounds like the same thing with Dan Quayle and that pot connection in Texas, the guy that was in jail in Texas, that they shut up and won't let do any interviews.
You bet. They locked them up. Anyway, if you want to find out a little bit more about this, there's a couple of websites, you can go to find out a little bit more about that interview.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't want to find out more about the interview. I want to find out the information. Forget the interview.
Well, that's what I mean to say. And you can find out about the Bush campaign's effort to try to shut CNN up about that and threatening a lawsuit if they had that transcript up on their website.
Really?
Yep.
How do you like that?
So you can find information about that at a couple of different sites. One is gwbush.com, and the other is sonofabush.com. And I think someone mentioned to you a couple days ago about I know what you did in Texas.com. Those are some great places to find out information about this.
Excellent.
And his past drug addictions, abuses, abortions, etc.
See, all this is overlooked by the Goody Two-Shoes crowd, the penis hysteria crowd, the Monica crowd. All of this is overlooked. We're going to bring this country back to morality. We're going to bring it back to a decency, right?
Yeah, like Bob Livingston. Oh, yeah.
And Henry Hyde.
And those other Bible biters.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks again.
Take care.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Are we getting a good example of what it's all about here today? You bet. Morons. Not this guy. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, how about Neil for president?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm following a gorgeous blonde in a white late model Corvette with a bumper sticker that says, "If you can beat me, you can treat me."
Yeah.
I had to modify the last word, but you get the idea. Wonder what her platform is.
Here's Plantation. Hello. Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing this morning?
Same as usual, pal.
Yeah.
Talking to a bunch of
I have a couple
talking to a
questions
bunch of
for you.
morons.
Yeah, I'm really trying to follow this election year, and number one, everybody keeps talking about all things that George Bush has done in his past, and like the abortion that you just mentioned, and the drugs and the alcohol. How come the Democrats don't come forward with this stuff? I mean, if they can pull Clinton juice off of a dress from years ago, why can't they get information on George to not to say cause a fight or to bring. But just to bring things to the forefront.
To expose him for the phony that he is what you're trying to say, and beats the hell out of me.
I'm amazed by that. And my other question is with the debates. They were disgusting. It was the same thing over and over and over
Same
again.
boring questions and the same boring answers, just like Dan Rather said, just like they were reading them off a cue card. Same tired, repetitive crap over and over again. Not to mention the horrendous job that Jim Lehrer did.
No, absolutely. I know. He was worse than both of them put together. So, no, I just got to do the best I can. I'll vote 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
567-0560, pound
He must have run out of pills today.
Yeah, he must have run out of the heavy stuff.
3 for him?
Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I tell you got a crew today.
Uh-huh.
Listen, how long do you think these morons that are going to vote for Bush are going to realize, or how long is it going to take after he's elected, which I'm really afraid is going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to realize that he's going to screw things up? How many years is it going to take? 4 years or 8 years of a Bush administration before the budget goes and everything goes?
They're not going to understand. Just like Reagan with the trickle down. If Reagan remembered where the hell he was, he could come back and run again now, and they'd put him back in there again.
Exactly.
In spite of the trickle down and the recession and the gigantic deficits and all of those things, they're into personalities. That's all. They just don't like Gore. That's what it boils down to.
I hate to be a cynic, but I tell you, these people are going to get what they deserve.
Okay.
When they go for him.
See ya. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
You'll be able to pick up a lot of things. Think of all the condom money you will save. A shave, chopped up here, chopped up there. Oh, the sample feels just like yours. If you flinch, you'll lose, and it's sending you to that friend of yours.
11:13 at 560. WQM Miguel is at the QAM van, 11 at 1 from now until 1, I guess, at Pac Mail right next to Winn-Dixie and Nob Hill and Clarion Plantation with the best of Neil CDs and cassettes and keychains and T-shirts. Here's a fax from Jonathan who says, I want to thank you for reading our fax on the air. The response was overwhelming. See, the response off the air is always overwhelming. What we get on the phone here is just a bunch of morons generally, but off the air we can make something happen, which is what the Bush people are afraid of. Just like what we did when they, last July when they had that penny sales tax that Mayor Pinga Pequena tried to pull the wool over the public on. Remember those days?
Uh-huh.
I sure do. It says over 250 people have joined the internet wars. CNN, Gallup, and ABC were being bombarded on a daily basis by the Republican propaganda and were affecting their numbers. We haven't won the war, but we've engaged them and begun to fight. He points out that in 1996, 5% of Cubans were registered as Democrats and helped hand Dade County to Bill Clinton. In 2000, the number grew to 8% and may just help hand Dade County to Al Gore. Also, there are a lot of people out there who want Gore bumper stickers. They can call 305-438-1483 to get the address of the office nearest them, where they can pick up their bumper stickers, pins, signs, etc. 305-438-1483. Okay, Jonathan, we're doing the best we can here, even though we got a bunch of bozos out there. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Lady in Palm Beach, hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple of comments. First of all, regarding Bush's so-called former drug and alcohol use, I worked in the criminal justice system and supervised drug and alcohol offenders.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, the rate of recidivism is wildly high. They are the most charming, most untrustworthy group of people in general.
Mm-hmm.
When they had the first debate, everybody was whining about Gore's sighing. Nobody picked up on Bush's sniffling.
Right.
What's with that? I don't believe for a minute
somebody
that
came up with some excuse that he had a head cold, but the fact is, in the third debate, which was 2 weeks later, he still was sniffling and snorting, and he certainly didn't have a cold at that point.
Yeah, well, which brings me to my second comment. Does it seem to you that the mainstream press is in collusion with the Bush campaign?
Oh, I wouldn't say collusion, but it seems to me that all the big money interests are desperate to get Bush in. There's no question about that.
How can the Democrats...
CNN especially. CNN has been hyperventilating with their...
MSNBC,
Fox? No, MSNBC has been pretty fair, but CNN has been bending over backward with their Gallup poll, and Bill Schneider and Jeff Greenfield, all of these others. I mean, Greenfield came on after the first debate, which everybody in America, basically, every poll that they took said Gore won that one by a big margin, and Greenfield came on and was raving about how great Bush looked.
There was a website for women to make comments.
Yeah.
And several people had commented, yeah, Bush won the debate, until somebody picked up that all of these comments saying Bush won had been logged in before the debate
Right,
even started.
that's right. Well,
they are really playing
that
dirty
goes back to
pool.
what I just said here about how they've been loading up on all the polls on the Internet.
Yeah, well, keep talking and see if you can get some more Democratic supporters on the air.
Okay.
People like Molly Ivins from Texas really tell it like it is.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks. See, there's a lady who's got her head down straight as opposed to worrying about some stupid ball game or making a bunch of guttural sounds or worrying about the WWF or some other crap or thinking that she's amusing and funny, which most of you are not. See, that's all I've ever asked is that people take maybe like 1% of their time and their existence and their brain power and, and put that energy into something positive. Will most of them do it?
No.
No, this is all a waste of time and they all suck. Well, they all do suck, but it's a matter of who sucks the less and who's going to do the most damage. That's the point. Who's going to do the most damage, not just the next 4 years, but the next 30 and 40 and 50 years by appointing a whole bunch of right-wing fascist judges to take rights away from women and everybody else. Oh, no, we can't be worried about that. I just don't understand people. I guess when you're poorly educated, you remain stupid most of your life. Isn't that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Huh? They say they can't teach old dogs new tricks. I guess that's what it boils down to. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what's happening is that the media has pretty much, spent the last 8 years covering for somebody and being made a fool of by an administration that said one thing. The exact opposite of what's going on.
They've been covering for somebody? You mean like the way that they savaged Clinton from the minute he got into office and the way that they covered Penisgate round the clock?
No, he would tell them one thing, they'd print it, and then you'd find out the exact opposite was the truth. So then they had to go back and retract their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Al Gore's been caught in 3 or 4 different lies on the stump so far.
Yeah.
But I thought,
And of course George Bush hasn't.
well, I'm not saying, hey, you know what?
Like how he did that great bipartisan thing with the Democrats in Texas to support and get past the Patients' Bill of Rights, which is a total lie. That's only one.
There's 2,000 people coming across the border every day in Texas, and they all get health care. It's amazing how they even do that. That blows me away. But
what does that have to do with whether Bush lied or not?
What do you mean?
He lied about the Patients' Bill of Rights and working in a bipartisan way. He vetoed it the first time, and then when they had enough votes to override his veto, he let it go into law without signing it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
What does that have to do with the veto?
No, wait a minute. We can't confuse this man with the facts. I don't know. Gore is a liar, and you see, the media had done an effective job of brainwashing. Every time Gore farts and it doesn't smell the right flavor, oh my God, look at that! He said it was going to be blueberry, and it turned out to be some other flavor. I just got through telling you one fact, just about one. And you notice the Bush people, don't confuse them with the drug abuse or the alcoholism or any of the other things that may or may not be coming out, because they don't care. If it comes to find out that he raped 50 women and they had 50 abortions, it still won't make any difference. Because where there's no sense, there's no feeling. It's like a sponge made out of brick. It's absorbing nothing. I don't know. No, you don't know. At least you gave us one honest answer that you don't know. Well, do some reading. Go on the Internet. Watch a goddamn TV show besides goddamn Bob Novak. And maybe you might find something out. Makes me sick to my stomach. Neither one of them is a prize. That's the best thing I can say about both of them. But my God, Gore is as bad as he is and as boring as he is and as poor of a politician as he's turning out to be, light years ahead of the other bozo. It's like we said about those little burgers. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's a mobile on the alley. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What about, we've had a long history of this Bush family, this Papa Bush. I mean, he invades Panama because Manuel's got naked pictures of him with sitting on bales of cocaine.
They wanted to change the complexion of the Panama Canal, yeah.
Right. I mean,
and what is the point? What is the point?
Well, the point is that this whole family has got a long history of manipulating the media and
manipulating SNLs, right? Like Neil Bush,
right?
And Jeb.
So we need Jeb and George P. and George W. and all the rest of them just to get the hell out of here.
Okay, we'll put them on a goddamn banana boat and send them to Nicaragua. What the hell was that?
Bowling ball? I don't know.
Somebody bowling in the hallway here? Listen to that. 10-pin, little high. Hey, if it was good enough for Rick Weaver, it's good enough for me. Bowling on the radio. That's what I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks. Instead of talking about this stuff that nobody cares about, let's do some play-by-play bowling. We got Eddie Kowalik against Thurman Gibson, the great left-hander Thurman Gibson. He's dead, but he just came back for this match. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
You just mentioned about the Supreme Court justices.
Yes.
The seats that are up for appointment. I think that's the top of the order of issues in this election. What do you think is like the main issue that we should be looking at between Gore and Bush?
That is the main issue right there. That's the most important thing.
You also think that's the main issue?
That's the longest lasting thing. Like I said before, that has impact for 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years.
Yeah, because when they appoint those justices, they're going to be able to change a lot of laws, considering how many did you say, 3 or 4 they're going to be able to appoint?
And the Supreme Court justices are there for life.
Or until they decide to retire, which that one old one should.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a fat you fag.
Okay, great. 567-0560, pound 5. Well, see, that's obligatory. You have to come up with that at the end of the call.
I still hadn't forgotten it from the last time.
Right. Well, no, I'm glad to know that an hour later I'm still a fat you fag. At least I'm consistent. That's good. 567-0560, pound 56. Now, there is something to be said for consistency. Like him. He's still an asshole. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
You like Brown or Nader for President, Neil?
I beg your pardon?
Brown or Nader?
What about you, sir?
I'm a libertarian.
Yeah. And?
Well, I think they got a good shot in the election this year.
They got a good shot at what?
Winning it.
Winning the election. Okay, listen. Hang on right now. We'll call social services and get some help over there in about half an hour. Don't go anywhere. 567-0560. I think he likes it, Brown. Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Neil, I can't believe the drone simpleton idiots out there who can afford mobile phones and have been polluting the airway with this puke.
For 25 years I've been listening to this crap.
We're going to elect an idiot president because this guy is a freaking idiot. I don't know how you can watch a debate and have a pulse, and then those freaking focus groups that all of these networks have got. CNBC pulling 30 people in Michigan and ABC with 10 in Ohio. And this guy is a freaking idiot.
Sir, those are the people you've just been listening to for the last hour and 25 minutes. Morons.
Well,
90% of what we've had here today, morons.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Gore's character, I'm not a big fan of Bubba, but hell, Bubba's made the economy churn, and everybody's done well the last 8 years. But Gore's a lot better qualified than Clinton wants to be president. And I don't know what the hell it is. I mean, the guy's a Vietnam veteran.
The other guy disappeared in Alabama. Okay, calm down. You're getting a little bit too hysterical, okay? I don't want to get my pressure up. It's not worth it. See, if it was back with the Cubans again and Alien, you people, day after day, month after month, week after week, for months and months and months, we had no shortage of calls. Used to come in and sit down every morning. All I'd have to do was say, hello, arrivederci, and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, hysterical. And that's because the people in this town and the people in most of this country, but I live here so I can only judge by what I've gone through 25 years here, you got your priorities all screwed up. The thing that gets you most emotional and hysterical boils down to one word. Hate. That's what it is. Hate. That's the only thing that sells in this town is frickin' hate. And just like I said the other day, if we wanted to sit here and talk about Cubans every day for the next 5 years, we get a 90 share. Oh, they're a bunch of no good goddamn guayabera wearing, bean eating, whatever, you know. That's all this town's all about is hate. That's why, and you can't complain about the activism, there isn't any. That's why Ken Jenney gets 68% of the vote up there, and the young people are bellyaching about, gee, that we have no constituency and they're taking all our rights away. Well, that's because you don't vote. And the same thing in Dade County, Mayor Pinga Pequena, a national embarrassment who gets on national TV and makes statements that are so obnoxious and unacceptable that anybody ought to be embarrassed, including his relatives. And he gets put back in again without even a runoff. What are we going to do, Neil? What are we going to do? Maybe get a goddamn brain. Maybe that's what you need to do. Get an implant. They have all these other implant things that they're doing. All this cosmetic surgery. How about a brain implant? Maybe we can get a factory moved in here. Do a land office business, I guarantee you that. There's a lot of openings. 26 past 11 at 560 WQM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hi, this is Randy West, and they don't come any better than me or Neil Rogers.
Now, from Washington, the McLaughlin Group, featuring Eleanor Cliff, Jack Germond, and sitting in for Pat Buchanan, New York Giant Tiki Barber. Now, here's John McLaughlin. Issue 1, George W. Rings or vault? Eleanor Cliff.
Well, John, I'd have to say.
Wrong! Jack Germond.
Well, that's not an easy choice.
Wrong! Tiki Barber.
I'm going to have to say the vault.
Wrong! Actual answer, floor exercise.
That wasn't even a choice.
Next issue, Al Gore. Favorite Broadway show. Bring in the noise, bring in the funk, or Cats. Eleanor G, I think you're swallowed off.
Well, John, I'd have to say.
Wrong! Jackie Big Germond.
Well, that's a very difficult choice.
Wrong! Tiki Barber.
I'm going to have to say Ren.
Not a choice, Ricky Tiki Barber.
You gave an answer last time that wasn't a choice.
Wrong! Correct response, Cats. He loves them. Next issue, the cast of Big Brother should be murdered. How? Eleanor.
Guillotine.
Wrong, Jack Germond.
Dynamite.
Wrong, Tiki Barber.
I don't think they should be kids.
Wrong. Actual answer, poison pudding. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 11:31 at 560 QM. So Miguel is jonesing for some free bagels from Einstein Brothers Bagels. If you're listening over at Einstein Brothers, if there's anybody over there, go into Einstein's and get some free bagels for Miguel, who's dying for him. He's in the QM van from now till 1 o'clock at Pac Mail next to the Winn-Dixie on Nob Hill and Cleary Boulevard in Plantation with our best of for Planned Parenthood, Best of Neil CDs and cassettes, T-shirts, and, of course, keychains. 5670560. I don't like this poll today because it's already, I don't believe it anyway. Would you vote for an African-American for president? 61 yes, 36 no out of 97 votes. Do I believe it?
No.
Now, they're saying what's politically correct. See, almost everybody says the politically correct thing, even if it's only on a poll. But when push comes to shove and they go in that voting place in privacy, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Just like the Jew Lieberman factor. You wait for all the anti-Semites to come out of the woodwork, including those people who may not be all anti-Semitic, just don't like his fanaticism. Just don't like the fact that he's got a mezuzah under each armpit. I was thinking if Jew Lieberman ever walked in here while we were on the air, he's been coming down here a lot, trying to woo the Cuban voters and the old Jews in the condos. If he ever walked in here, I'd pull that old crucifix out. Yeah, it worked for Dracula. Hey, I'm leaving now. Yeah, he's going to get the hell out of here fast. Mr. Mezuzah Head. Hey, that's a great idea. If they don't win the election, we can make some big money for next time. You know Mr. Potato Head? How about Mr. Mezuzah Head? It's a little mezuzah, and the head has got a figure of Jew Lieberman on top of it.
Attach payas and
then you can torture it with a tefillin. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes,
I want
sir.
to tell you why I'm voting for Bush. First of all, the most important thing to me is a tax cut, and I believe he's going to cut my taxes.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm getting the feeling that most of your callers, they're all on welfare anyway. They're not working, so they don't.
They're all on welfare.
They want me to pay their welfare while they.
Yeah. Well, I hate to break the news to you, but the welfare was cut way back to almost nothing in the last 8 years.
It's just a coincidence.
See, don't give me this crap, sir. Let me say it again.
You don't care about
welfare was cut. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Well, I do. I don't make $1 million.
I guarantee I'd save a lot more money than you would, and I'm not that selfish, okay? I care about more important things than saving
if I
a few
made $1
bucks.
million, then they could take more taxes on me, but I don't make your kind of money.
Well, how much money are you going to save on your tax cut, sir?
Look, if I can get like an extra couple thousand a year, that can make a difference. It doesn't matter for you.
Make a difference in what?
Half your money gets taken off in taxes, you still live a good life.
Make a difference in what? I pay more than half of my money all the way around.
Well, that's fine. But I want some of my own money back. I don't want my money going to some little social causes and
social causes,
and Planned Parenthood and all the other
Planned Parenthood, there's another one, yeah. And all those fetus killers, yeah. Okay, thank you. There's another one. Selfish people, all they think is they're going to get a tax cut, which he ain't going to get nothing. And number two, he don't want his money going to all these, because he's just a right-wing asshole is what he is. Why don't you just say that in the beginning and save us all that trouble? And don't worry about how much I'm making. And it's obvious from your call to see why you're making what you're making and bellyaching about it. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, there's no fact in the church. Bush is going to win.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that.
Yeah.
And we're against abortion because it's wrong. The Bible says so.
But where does the Bible say abortion is wrong? What does it say?
You should not
Is this,
commit murder.
was that the same God that God kept telling the Jews to kill all their enemies? Is that the same God that said abortion, you shouldn't commit murder?
And what?
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Thank you for your continued support of the Neil Rogers Show. He's still with us. Oh, yeah, and that's him, too. That's the...
There's no fact in the church.
Guy. Here's a mobile in Miramar. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I just want to say I'm voting for Al Gore about 9, 12 times, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I am is it comes down to dedication. And I think Al Gore has a lot more dedication to doing the right things and doing a good job. And he's shown that through the years, you know, with his work as a senator and his work as a vice president, that he's going to do things like, you know, clean up the environment and try and better Social Security and health care and things like that. And I think that's what it boils down to, is that George Bush, he don't give a damn. He just wants to be the president because his daddy was the president and whatnot. And things like that.
He wants to be the president because the ultra-rich, the oil companies and the tobacco companies and the pharmaceutical companies, all the people in big business have named him to be the heir apparent. That's why he wants to be president.
Well,
He's
also,
the face man.
It also just seems to me like George Bush has had everything handed to him, so he's never had to work for anything.
Right.
You know, and while Al Gore, I'm sure he's had to work, you know, to become a senator, become vice president, especially with a president like Bill Clinton, who at the beginning was kind of, you know, a little bit shady because of his past and because of Jennifer Flowers and all that BS. And so it was kind of hard. So Al Gore really had to work hard. And I think that shows that Al Gore is going to be a good president when he's elected.
Okay. Vote early office, pal. Okay, yeah, we know. 56705. No, you see, it's mandatory. By the time they get to the end of the call, they have to say that. You're a fat Jew fag. Here's a mobile in Pompano Beach. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I totally agree with you on that, going back to the point you made earlier, that Terry Murray's lame excuse as to why the Panthers are doing crappy.
Yeah.
Because other teams are give me a break on
He's
that.
talking about teams that they haven't even played yet, and excuses about how, well, you know, we got a world-class player, and therefore yada, yada, yada. That's the lamest crap I've ever heard in my life.
It was. I read that this morning, and I couldn't.
I mean, they just got through with a scoreless tie against the worst team in the league, and his excuse is, well, they played their best because they were so terrified of us.
And they should both be fired because they did not address the main problem on the team, is that they have nobody at the blue line that can pass it to the forwards. And you see that problem, and it's so significant right now.
It's not just a question of nobody at the blue line to pass to the forwards. The fact is that they've got 2 or 3 guys who can score. He's destroyed Victor Kozlov's confidence. He's taken a guy who had a breakout year last year and destroyed his confidence, and he keeps putting these ridiculous lines together. This man just can't cut it. There's no question about that. He hasn't cutting it.
Should have never taken Victor Kozlov off the top line.
That is absolutely correct. And the deal getting Larionov was one of the most stupid moves. They let Bure talk him into that. They get Larionov. They get a 90-year-old man to put out there who plays like a 200-year-old man and screwed up the whole chemistry on the team.
And you've given up a lot of turnovers. And the other problem is the fact that other teams like Carolina is able to get Ozolinch, and that the stinking Islanders are able to get Roman Hamrlik, decent guys, and all they get is Larionov. That's absolutely.
I think what we need to do is call, when Jersey's here tomorrow night, tell them we'll make a trade. They won't even have to change the name on the uniform. Since they can't sign Scott and tomorrow, we'll take him and give him the brother no extra charge.
All right, and the 2 Murrays.
Okay, there you go. Package deal. Good idea. He's the new president of the Panthers, not of the, well, maybe of the country. Sounds pretty articulate to me, especially compared to what we've been talking to today. 22 before noon at 560 WQAM, 5670560, pound 5. You see, anybody under the age of 50 now, especially you young guys, when you call in the show, just to make sure in case any of your friends are listening or somebody recognizes your voice, at the end of the call you have to say, and you're a fat Jew fag, just so you get yourself off the hook, because otherwise they might think you really like the show.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station.
Ooh, Frosty Nads.
For the world.
What was that, Jennifer?
Ooh, Frosty Nads.
I'm sorry. Don't step on
Oh,
it.
I don't know what it is about them, their whiny little voices or their big noses or goofy hats, tiny little schmeckles. I don't know, they just rub me the wrong way.
Anti-Semitism lives in every speech Hillary gives. It's in the news. Hillary hates Jews. Spewing hatred through the halls, busting people's matzo balls. It's in the news. Hillary hates Jews. You won't catch her lighting a menorah. God, she must have a wonderful aura. When she speaks, I I wanna cry. She could use a good rabbi. It's in the news. Hillary hates you.
18 till noon at 560Q. I mean, I hate to break the news to you, Karen, who just faxed me all kinds of information about somebody, maybe her husband or some relative or whatever, or some friend who was working at the fan and whose check bounced and he get a replacement check and went to the Wage and Hour Division in the U.S. Department and faxes me pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff. Too bad. Nothing we can do about it, sweetheart. That's what happens when you work for a radio station that has no audience. In addition to which, we can't be worried about their people getting paid. We have enough trouble around here making sure that everybody gets paid. I was going to say on time, but of course, around here that would be a silly thing to say with the Beasleys. 5670560. We better change this poll question. This one is boring to me. I don't like boring shows. I don't like boring poll questions. And I certainly don't like boring calls, which we've had many, many of today. Terminal and ponderous. In this boring, boring-ass place. I was going to ask a poll question about what station they watch for news, but after listening to these people, I'm not talking about local stations, I'm talking about which network. I'll go ahead and ask it anyway. Here's the new poll, Eric. Which network do you watch most often for news? CBS, CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox, PBS, MSNBC, or rarely or never watch news? Which I'm sure I can imagine how many we're going to get of those from the crowd we've had here today. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Which network do you watch most often for news? CBS, CNN, NBC. That's the one with the peacock. ABC, Fox. That's the one with the swastika in the bottom right-hand corner. PBS, MSNBC, or rarely or never watch the news. 75 to 48 said yes, they would vote for an African-American for president. I think about 70 of the 75 lied through their teeth. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir?
Hi. This is Jesus Christ. I'm a little nervous. First time caller.
Well, nice talking to you, Jesus Christ. I hope everything healed up okay.
Listen, I am a recovering drug addict, and what that lady said before is absolutely correct. We're manipulative and
yeah. Inarticulate.
Like, I would never trust anybody. Like, I know a lot of people that are been clean, for a long time.
Yeah.
There's just no way that I would trust them with the presidency.
Right.
Anyway, lately, I've been and I can't even talk. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, just pray to it's those 12 steps. Just work on number 11, and I think you'll be okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. This should be shocking, but when you hear these calls, this is a great. You think that we're talking to a lot of bozos, but you have to sift through a lot of crap to get something that makes an impact. And when you hear these people, well, I don't know, but it doesn't make any difference what you tell them, because in their eyes, he's the Teflon man. He's promising them money. He's going to give them something for nothing, which most of them aren't going to get in the first place. But that sounds good to them. So they don't care how many drugs he did, how much booze he consumed, how much of a dangerous alcoholic he may be, how much he may crumble under pressure, how dumb he may be. They don't care about any of these things. He's just offering them something for nothing, and that sounds good to them, because the bottom line is they're selfish. Ignorant and selfish, which go hand in hand. Aren't you anxious to get that tax cut? You make all that money. No. Here's a mobile in Aventura. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
You got a caller like a couple of calls ago. He make me sick to my stomach.
Which one was that?
When he told you he's going to vote for Bush because of the tax cut. He doesn't want his money to go to those people.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood and all those baby
that
killers.
doesn't show you that the callers usually the voters, they usually go with their candidate when they believe their view. I mean, this guy, he is shown as the typical Bush, and what is Bush is about. They're they're very selfish. The only thing they look for themselves, and I don't think this man should be a president for the whole country. And that's
you don't have to worry about that. If he's elected, he won't be a president for the whole country. You don't have to worry about that.
Well,
he'll just be a president for the right wing and the rich.
So far, I think we're closing up, and we're gonna win this election.
We're gonna win. Okay.
Thank you, Neil.
Okay, see you there. We're going to win, baby. Oh! It ain't going to be easy, but we're going to win. And, of course, if you get the Nader crowd off their cloud and stop acting like a bunch of morons and bring them back to reality, If they do an effective job of that next 2 weeks. You think they're going to do an effective job?
No.
Not so far. Although he was mumbling about it on the plane the other day on the campaign trail. Albert, he was mumbling about, I don't want to say that a vote for Nader is a vote for Bush, but of course it is, but I don't want to say it. Well, why not come out and say it? Huh? Quit being so timid. Quit beating around the old tree. Here's a mobile in Deerfield Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I hear that. Interesting calls today.
Oh, the call suck, but I'm doing very well. I'm doing fine. My hand feels great. Get my life back into one piece.
I just had an interesting conversation
Thinking
with
about my
somebody
next
that
vacation.
just sums up what you've been saying. We're talking about the election, and he says he's not. A guy I was just talking to says he's not going to vote, and then he says to me, "I can't believe one of these guys might be president." I says, "Wake up and smell the roses. One of them will be president."
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I'm going to vote for Gore, and I'm also going to get all my dead relatives to do the same.
Okay. I think he had it right the first time. Bohr. I think that was a Freudian slip. He said he's going to vote for Bohr. Hey, what's wrong with Al Bohr? We'd rather have boring than dangerous. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. See, all these weeks that this diatribe and dialogue has been going on, I've only had one honest Bush person call, and that was the guy that called yesterday and said he's voting for Bush because he's a lifelong Republican. And I said, in other words, no matter who they put up, if it was a chimpanzee, you'd vote for him. And he said, yeah. And I respect that. At least he's honest. I may not like it, but at least he's being honest. Instead of all these damn excuses and these people coming up with this ridiculous, embarrassing crap. Here's a mobile in Cooper City. Hello.
Yeah, the Bush position on taxes has made tax cuts the centerpiece of his campaign.
Yeah.
He pledges to veto any increase in corporate or personal taxes.
Yeah, read my lips, yeah.
Surplus is not the
Haven't we heard that before?
money.
Where are you reading this from? Are you reading it from which cheek?
Gore.
Yeah. 5670560, pound 560. And by the way, you're a fat fag, Jew. Well, I thought I'd get it in because I didn't leave mine long enough. Here's a mobile in Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil, you want to hear something scary?
Yeah.
Something real scary.
I already have for 2 hours.
No, if you believe the talking heads,
Yeah.
the undecided vote is supposed to elect the president. Have you seen what the undecided vote looks like? They look like they're inbred. They don't read newspapers. They don't watch the news.
Yeah.
They know nothing.
These are the people you're listening to today. They're 90% of the people who are calling me today. That's them.
I mean, isn't that scary that these people are just deciding?
But why do you keep saying it's scary? This is nothing new. It's always been this way. The American people are uneducated, and that's just the way it is. That's our system. They like keeping the public dumb.
Yeah, but dumb and ignorant is a different story. These people are ignorant,
Yeah.
and they're going to tell us who's going to be president.
And?
Keep your passport ready.
Okay, I'm squeezing it right now. Don't worry about that. I always have it close to my part. Which network do you watch most often for news? MSNBC is tied with CNN, NBC, ABC. Oh, everybody's got 3 so far. And tied with rarely or never watch the news. Oh! Woo! Now, we're busy watching the WWF. Then we turn over and watch our real world on MTV. Now, I got news for you. You're busy watching the unreal world. That's what you're watching. The unreal world. And tell Crystal she doesn't have to worry about the rest of the world thinking we're a bunch of morons over here if we elect Bush. They're already onto us. Believe me, during my travels I've discovered they've been onto us for a long time. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, mate, I'm not a recovering drug addict. I'm just in denial. But in response to one of your callers, these pud-whacking, selfish, fascist bastards that think they're going to get a tax rebate from this person Bush, I've got news for him. You know what social programs and welfare is all about? It keeps people from robbing his house. Because if there's no social programs and no welfare, all these people that fall through the cracks and fall over will come to where the money is, mate. It's at your house with your food and your wife. So without social programs, without all this wonderful democracy, you're going to get nothing but crime. This is what Bush is all about.
Yeah, but don't worry about that because George will just have them all executed. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, Uncle Neil.
Okay, tally
Good
ho.
job.
Ta-ta. Cheers. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT, or as Tom Jickle would say, cheers. You think Tom's going to write anything about the book now that we went down? See, the big story is that George is still number 1 there and maintained the number 1 rating of this highest rated show in the market, in the radio station. Castronova went up. I should mention that because they'll be upset if I don't mention he had a pretty good book in the summer, since nobody asked about that. He went up a little bit. Doing pretty good. Told you they got a great show since he stopped making up those stories about me running into me at the shopping mall or whatever.
Must be where Howard's people went, as a matter of fact.
No.
No?
No. Howard's people don't go to that show.
They went somewhere.
No, they did not. They went into diaries that didn't get to the... in other words, you really believe that Howard went down 2 points? Based on what?
Nothing.
Based on a bad demographic sampling by Arbitron again, which happens every now and then because they don't know how to sample this market, and they never have been able to sample the market. We still thank you very much for making us number 1 midday in men and getting us that bonus. We thank you, Arbitron, but you still suck. Even with my success over the years, I know you people suck. I know you weight these things. It's just like the goddamn Gallup poll. You know, they take a sample of 100 people, they take 80 Republicans, 10 Independents, 5 Democrats, and 5 who never heard of either candidate, and then they take a poll and say, who are you going to vote for? Oh, Bush is 40 points ahead. We can't figure that out. And then all of a sudden yesterday he's only 2 points ahead. How do you figure that out, CNN? You grave robbers? Oh, see, this is all bogus today. This is all just bogus on our poll. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think, I don't know if anybody mentioned, but Letterman had Bush on, and George W., that is. And the next night he had an outtake of while they're doing a commercial break, and they're all doing that production stuff around his desk, and Bush was sitting in the chair right next to him.
Yeah.
He takes his glasses off and
yeah.
And he takes his glasses off and cleans them on a lady's dress unknowingly. The lady didn't know what was going on, but he just takes his glasses off and starts cleaning them on somebody else's dress.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. This is going to be your, supposedly maybe next president, hope not.
Well, that's what they do at the barbecues.
You know, I think the Democrats should take that video and use it in an advertisement saying this could be your next president.
Okay.
No class.
And have a great day. See, now look at this. I wish you could take a look at the computer we have in here now because somebody's obviously got a hold of our thing here now. So CBS has got 1, which is what I watch, and everything else has got 23. All the other choices have 23. Does that spell it out for you?
Yeah. Told you. Long time ago. Remember I said, oh, I didn't think it was somebody.
No, but never like this. Never quite like
that.
This is magnificent. Let's see how long it stays like that. 5 minutes till noon at 560 WQM.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Esta es el show de la mañana con Gil Rogers. Esta es su cerebro. ¿Tienes preguntas? So I'm gonna say, Dick again. Cheney, Vice President, Dick Cheney. Second in command of the Republicans. We like Cheney, 'cause we can say Dick.
2 minutes till noon here at 560 WQM, the Hank Goldberg Show from Flagler this afternoon. 4 o'clock with Al Downing, 5 o'clock with Lamar Thomas. Lots of alibis, I'm sure, for last night. 6 o'clock, you got the Bookster. 8 o'clock, it's World Series game number 3. And like I said before, get that turkey over with already soon. The Mets really blow. Here's a fact that says it's unbelievable. Last week at work, I answered the phone. It was a recording from Jeb Bush to remember to get out and vote and make it a Republican vote. How dare they call business with that crap, writes this faxer. Yesterday, I called the Gore Lieberman local headquarters in Plantation Sunrise thinking I would volunteer for the next 2 weeks to get out to vote or bring people to the polls on the 7th. They handed me a few bumper stickers and hardly had a moment for me. They were selling buttons for $2. Why? Didn't they raise enough money to let us poor slobs have a free button? I left a little bit disappointed as I've run campaigns in the past and welcomed volunteers. They're in the Mercedes building on Broward and University. Their number is 370-9210. I hope they have a more positive attitude for the next potential supporter. Why are they in an office building instead of a more visible storefront? It asks. Go figure, it says. How do you like that? Doesn't sound too promising, does it?
No.
No. Fine. Okay, we got the new poll up. That was Eric's fault. That was Eric's fault. I just mentioned that in passing. Nobody's perfect, especially Eric. He's a little fat. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing today?
All right.
This is for that guy, the Bush guy, that thinks he's going to save $2,000 in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
What is he thinking? All he needs to do is get on Bush's little tax calculator. I'm 23 years old. I'm going to make about $40,000. I might say $600. The government can keep that $600 and keep that jackass Bush out of office.
Right.
That's all I got to say.
Oh, God bless you, sir. Well, pray for us. How do you like that? They can take their $600 and... Exactly. There's a young man that's got his priorities straightened out instead of some of you selfish jackasses. Oh, I want the money. If I was making what you was making, I wouldn't care. Guess what? For that jackass that called before that he was referring to, you ain't going to be making the money that I'm making. If you're making $3 an hour, it's probably double what you're worth. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line as we're having another one of our usual intellectual conversations here. 2 weeks from today, a big major election. Supreme Court justice is going to be appointed, 3, maybe even 4 of them for life. Who are going to decide the destiny of all kinds of people, millions of people in this country, including women. Women are sitting back there on their asses, I notice. And how that margin can be narrowing beats the hell out of me. And women, are we supposed to believe those polls? No. I don't think so. Don't forget, Miguel's out there waiting on you. Do we have an update on how much he's done?
Not lately.
Oh, well, probably they brought him some bagels from Einstein. Probably busy filling his puss. QM Van will be there until 1 o'clock at Pac Meal right next to Winn-Dixie, Nob Hill, and Cleary and Plantation with our best in the LCDs, cassettes, keychains. Say it again, keychains. And T-shirts. And if he doesn't have those bagels yet from Einstein, please, somebody go in there and feed him. He's a growing boy. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, sir.
Neil, hello. Yeah, I just want to see if I can challenge maybe you and your audience to come up with one thing that the Clinton and Gore administration has done to help this economy. And you can't say welfare reform or the budget deficit reduction because those are all Republican ideas. With America.
Those were all Republican ideas, like the fact we got the deficit in the first place from Reagan and the trickle down. What are you talking about?
Neil, that was all defense related. The deficit was all battling communism.
No, sir, it wasn't defense related. It was a tax cut for the wealthy. That's what it was. Just like this guy's trying to do all over again.
Now, Neil, that's again more leftist propaganda.
Leftist propaganda. That's where the trillions of dollars in deficit came from after 12 years of Reagan and Bush. Is leftist propaganda. We just made it up. It's a figment of our imagination. You, sir, are one of the most ignorant people I've ever encountered in my life. And after listening to all these bozos today, that's covering a lot of territory. No, the economy's in great shape just by accident. That's all. It's only by accident. They just fell into a bucket of crap. And you know something? If that were the case, which of course it's not, but if that were the case, if they're rubbed in so much crap, then why the hell would we want to get away from them? It's like going to the track and a guy gives you winner in every race. Why would you want to talk to anybody else? Even if he knows nothing, it's just luck. Maybe he's like Anna Nicole Smith and what's her name? Brittany. Maybe he's just lucky. Yeah, that's right. I'm just lucky. As opposed to Mo Green, who was unlucky. Remember that? You think I'm skimming off the top? No, I just think you're unlucky. And that was even before he got his glasses redone. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. $500 over there, it's pretty weak. We got to make $1,000 over there. It's not even worth Miguel's trip. It's not even worth the gas money. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Fort Lauderdale.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. No, I think one of the big things in this election is the environment, and I think people should be more aware of if you don't have a clean environment, then it's not good.
You mean like in Houston?
In business. Well, that's one of the reasons why, people need to start thinking, do I want to breathe clean air? Do I want to drink clean water? Or do I want to be like Texas, And that pretty much says it all.
Okay. God bless you. I'll go hug a tree. He's absolutely correct. And like Gore says, the one thing that he used to be knocked on is he's a tree hugger and too much for the environmentalist and too much against big business. And now Nader's coming around saying, oh, well, if you think he's good for the environment, just take a look at me and my goddamn green party. We bleed green. We're so green. We got grass growing out of our ass. Yeah, Ralph. Who the hell are you kidding? Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I wanted to respond to that comment who said about propaganda. Big business is all behind George Bush. I mean, you talk about pumping the propaganda machine. That's all we hear on TV 24/7 about George Bush this and George Bush that. And quite frankly, enough is enough. I mean, we don't got to look too far to see what exactly the facts are. And that seems to be the big problem. Everybody is so taken by just watching TV and understanding what the TV is pushing that they're just making judgments on that. No one's getting the facts. And I think, especially when it comes to electing the judges, we have a great opportunity to avoid living in a fascist state. And if we elect George Bush, that's what it is, what we might be ending up with.
Okay, amigo. Amen. Well said.
Oh!
Here's a Facts Todd Gitlin article that says it's the stupidity stupid. What does George W. Bush know and when does he know it? A, not much, and B, not without long study periods, and C, even then, not well. What they're trying to tell you is he's dumb. Can a lot of you relate to that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I see. See, America likes dumb. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
We love you.
I know.
Not like in a homosexual kind of way.
No, I understand. In a heterosexual way, yeah.
Uncle Neil, might be getting my Leafs season tickets and drinking milk out of a bag and learning to speak French if Governor W. is elected president.
Yeah.
We might have to learn the Canadian national anthem and move up north.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, 3 Supreme Court justice seats. Well, at least we know that the country will be run based on the principles of that all-inclusive, non-hate-mongering book they call the Bible.
Right.
Thank God.
And William Rehnquist for dictator.
Absolutely. Hey, Neil, did you watch the senatorial debate last night?
Did I watch what?
The senators debate last night with Tim O'Rourke.
No, I turned on for 2 seconds and I saw Willie Logan sitting in there, and as soon as I saw that sports was on there, I said, I'm not watching this.
Hey, Willie Logan did a pretty good job, Neil.
But what's the point? What is the point? It wasn't enough that he turned that turncoat and supported Jeb Bush, who then came out with his anti-affirmative action and pissed all the black people off in this state? Why don't Willie Logan get the message? Everybody hates him like poison.
Well, I think it's the option between would you like to be shot, hung, or spend life in jail with
Bill Nelson's got my vote very enthusiastically. I have no problem with Bill Nelson.
I hear you.
I like his name. Have a great day. Yeah, that's right. 567-0560, pound 560 on the 18. See, and then, the fags come out for Willie Logan because he's the only one that showed up at their thing. They had a forum, a thing, and he showed up, and Nelson McCollum didn't show up. So therefore, they're endorsing him. Plus, he seems very reasonable on fag rights and stuff like that. Talk about naive and getting led down the garden path and cutting off your nose to spite your face. Didn't you see McCollum? Didn't you see that routine, that dog and pony show he put on there with all those other right-wing lunatics during Penisgate? Oh, but now he's portraying himself as a moderate, and he even supports hate crimes legislation. Do we believe in that?
No.
No, we don't believe it for 1 second. We know him for the fascist pig that he is. You sure throw that term around a lot, you know? Yeah, I do, because there's a lot of running around on the loose. A lot of right-wing, ultra-extremist Bible thumping. And then when we start hearing about those faith-based charities, which again, you see, it's fear. And that's what Al Gore and the Democrats have to fear. Bush was right about that. They have to fear their own fear itself because they're afraid to really go after him and point out exactly who's behind him and what he's all about. And that just may well cost him the goddamn election. Faith-based charities. Oh, that's right. We don't want all your tax money going to these social programs to support all those scumbags. You know which ones we're talking about, of course, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, those minorities. We'll let them be handled by faith-based charities, and we'll have those those vouchers, tuition tax credits, so that all the parochial and religious schools can siphon money out of the public education system. Right. And this business about Bush is for good education, how is that possible when he didn't get one? Huh? How is that possible? I mean, maybe if he got a little bit of tutoring before he decided he wanted to be president, maybe we might respect his fanaticism about quality education. But when the most intelligent thing he can ever say is, I have to raise 4 eyebrows about that when he talks about education. 9 minutes after noon at 560 WQA.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is the story about a girl named Whiny. Every morning she wakes up with all the cash that she needs. She's rich and famous, she's a star, and she's still just a teen. They go, why she comes raining, this pretty sweet girl. And they say she's so whiny, she's a bitch, and she's just 18. life. Nothing has gone wrong, so why does she whine in this song? She had a date with Prince William, and she kissed half the guys commenting.
You're gay.
But she's real unhappy, and her mood is crappy. Hey, come on, she can't even lip sync. They go, she is making millions. This kid in her teens, and they say she's so whiny. What a pain when she starts to whine. I need Novocaine. They say that she knows her career won't last long. That's why she is whining in this song.
12:15 at 560 WQAM. Did Miguel get his Jew food over there or not?
Yes, he did.
Did he really?
Well, I don't know from there. He was feeding his face recently.
He was feeding his puss? That's good. Okay, Miguel's got another 45 minutes over there at 1 o'clock at the Pac Mail, right next to Winn-Dixie, Nob Hill, and Clarion Plantation with all of our best of stuff for Planned Parenthood. And as a matter of fact, we hope we raise $200,000 for Planned Parenthood just to piss off that guy who called before. That fetus licker. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey there, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I picked up an interesting historical factoid last night regarding the presidential curse. And that every president that's been elected in a year that ends in 0 has been assassinated.
Yeah, we know that. That's old stuff, yeah.
It is old stuff. So you're voting for the vice president. You think he's going to go?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. You're a moron. Idiot. And it's a compliment. The same journalist who took seriously the piddling charge that Gore padded his Vietnam record showed decidedly little interest in W's lies and innovations about his record in Vietnam, avoiding the Texas National Guard, as reported by Tom Rhodes in the Sunday Times of London and Joe Cottison in the New York Observer, but scarcely mentioned anyplace else. On television, Bush's flaws in logic, in fact, get more attention from Letterman and Leno than the political pundits who practice knowingness without knowledge. Thus did they declare W to have passed Lyra's foreign policy quiz in Greensboro, South Carolina debate because he was quick to answer thumbs up or thumbs down to a list of military interventions. But for all their vigilance about body language and stylistic tics, reporters, editorialists, and pundits did not note any lapses of substance. For example, the first intervention that W thumbs up, Lebanon in 1983, was an unmitigated disaster, resulting in the much unnecessary death from American shelling, culminating in a terror bombing that killed 241 American Marines asleep in their barracks. Television pundits did not leap to remember. Thomas Friedman in the New York Times did. The Gulf War, which W, of course, embraced, became necessary when his father's ambassador, April Glaspie, signaled at a meeting with Saddam Hussein that the U.S. would not react badly if he marched into Kuwait. Some foreign policy success, huh? This fact, remember that, the green light? See, everybody's forgotten about that. This fact has slipped down the memory hole, lubricated by an oblivious press corps. For that matter, Saddam built up his bloated power and was responsible for thousands of Iraqi and Iranian deaths during the 1980s when it was the administrations of Reagan and, you guessed it, George Bush who green-lighted the Iraq attack on Iran. W said, I hope our European friends become the peacekeepers in Bosnia and the Balkans. I hope that they put the troops on the ground so that we can withdraw our troops and focus our military on fighting and winning war. But the fact is, already 85% of the troops in Kosovo are European. So what a bore, and I could go on. I got pages and pages of this stuff that people fax me every day, and it's kind of boring for me to sit here reading this stuff. I could go on forever, but the fact is, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's uninformed. He's dull. He's not only not up to the job, he's pathetic. He's a vacuum head. But I sure hope you enjoy your 60 cents a day on your big tax cut. Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Yeah, anyone who says affirmative action is no longer needed because we've reached the promised land as confused wilderness with Canaan.
Okay, great. 5670560. You mean Cain and Abel? Here's a Pompano. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that I wanted to tell you that you can use with your callers, as far as people who will say that it's because of the Republicans that we have a solid economy. Well, if that's true, then why during the Bush era, the father, did that not play itself out? We had more small businesses go under. We were in a terrible economic thing.
Recession, that's correct. It was the Reagan-Bush recession, that's right.
So that if that was true, then we should have seen some improvement when Bush became president, but that was not the case. So that's just something you can use. And I wanted to also compliment you for doing your part in creating the kind of divisiveness that the Republicans applaud. Keeping Spanish people against white, black against Spanish and white, all the little things that you've said on the radio.
Yeah, I'm the one that creates divisiveness, right?
Where you promote it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but that's not that.
You want to congratulate me on promoting divisiveness, huh?
That exactly. And yet now you want everybody to pull together, but when it was a time to pull together, you didn't promote it.
Time to pull together on what?
On the issues of trying to elect a president. People that you see right now.
No. What are you talking about? It was a time to pull together on what? In other words, we should have all agreed on Alien? Is that what you're telling me about?
No, Alien had nothing to do with it.
Then what are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about promoting social isolation, people getting, going against each other. And I hear you do it all the time. You know that you do it.
Oh, yeah.
You make
that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, to put one against the other. I invented it.
Well, do you think the Republicans like that?
So what are you talking about? What nonsense are you talking? Go look in the mirror and see if you can find a brain. Yeah, I'm the one who invented all this hate that exists down here. That's right, while one group hates the other. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. It's Neil's fault. Now we know. Otherwise, everybody here would love each other. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How's it going?
Okay.
We all know hate was born by religion. Because religion is the hateful, group in that whole section. Listen, let me turn to something else.
Yeah, please.
Because Bush, number one, the guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know that.
Okay. The guy is a drunk. We know
that.
The guy has done cocaine.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
Okay, listen.
What's the point?
The thing is, why would anybody vote for such an idiot? Why would somebody who knows and listens to this guy think that by giving the rich $2 trillion in tax cuts, that how in the hell are we going to balance the budget? How are we going to do all this stuff that we really need to do?
We're not.
We're not. So what is he going to do? Is he promising these people
it sounds like Fuzzy Matt to me. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Out of town is open, of course, because they're busy with that stock market show over there on the West Coast, and nobody else on God's little green planet would be calling the show from out of town, especially with these calls. 877-785-6335. It's the divider. It's old Neil Rogers, the divider, who pits one group against the other, who's responsible for everybody hating each other. This is the man who says, do no harm, leave everybody else alone. Deal with people as individuals, not as part of a group. Stop being a bunch of sheep and getting sucked into all this religious nonsense and being led down the garden path with lies. And the best this guy can do, who obviously listens every single day, this Schwarzer that called before, he's giving me a song and dance about congratulating me on being contributing to the divisiveness. Right. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Good. All of your black listeners don't think that way. Trust me. That guy didn't have a clue. You mentioned the biggest cancer in the black community when you said Willie Logan.
Yeah.
That guy, here's a guy
Talk about an Uncle Tom.
I'm sorry?
I said talk about an Uncle Tom. He's the one.
You're absolutely correct. If everybody would remember back to when he felt the Democratic Party slapped him in the face.
Right.
He turned around and became an independent.
Like a spoiled child, he turned around and ran off and sucked up the
And
foot.
then endorsed Jeb Bush.
Right.
Took the black vote that he had with him. I mean, not necessarily saying that that's what won Jeb Bush the governor's race, which it didn't. But, of course it helped.
Yeah.
But now here he is. He wants to run as an independent.
It's also helped that the Democrats ran a dead man against me,
That is true. But now he's going to turn around and you're going to pander. He's going to pander to whatever, whoever he thinks will get him into an office. And if we remember, just about a month and a half ago, the scandal came out about how he wasn't paying his rent to the community where his office is in Opelika. I mean, this man is a true cancer. I mean, he's the problem with government today.
Nobody with a brain is going to vote for Willie Logan.
Well, I would hope not.
Even those fags that he was appealing to the other day by showing up and sucking up to us, the gay people are not going to vote for Willie Logan. Most of them aren't that stupid.
You know what? The funny thing is, Neil, is that immediately after, Bush was nominated governor or named governor, you know, Willie Logan was turning around, showing up at the One Florida meetings when all of the community was going up in arms about that particular proposal. So it's like, if he didn't know his position then, why did he endorse him?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a shame. You know, I've listened to your show. I love your show. I think what you do is absolutely great because you give people a forum to really talk about the issues, those that actually know the issues.
All four of them.
I'm going to vote for Gore. Hopefully I can do it 1,000 times.
All right.
I live in Hollandale Beach with all your old Jewish friends.
Boy!
So, you know, hopefully we'll all get out and vote.
Hey, if things get tough, go see my aunt. She'll loan you a couple million.
Well, you know, the funny thing, you know, the one thing I like about these polls, have you ever been polled?
No.
On any of these Gallup polls?
Don't get too personal.
It's like, who are they polling? I've never been polled. You know, I don't know anyone that's been polled except for your poll.
Probably those people on those mugwumps you saw on the focus groups on TV.
Yeah,
that's it.
More than likely.
They find them in a cave. Okay, good luck to you, pal.
Have a great day, Neil.
You too. Hang in there. Have you ever been polled? Oh, I don't want to get personal. Never mind. Doug in Weston's got a great idea for a good poll, which is because this poll I don't like either. I don't like it. What are you smirking about? I don't like this poll. It's pointless because we got 53 votes or 60, whatever the hell that is. It's reloading again. Come on, let's go already with this goddamn internet. It's slow as frickin' molasses. 68 votes. 17 watch most often NBC. Now, see, it's too depressing for me. I can't handle that because there's a guy with a speech defect doesn't lose on NBC. No, seriously, he's got a bad quaggle. He can't speak. Tom Oklahoma, he can't speak. And 17, 13 CNN, 11 rarely or never watch the news, 9 watch Fox. Do I believe that?
No.
No, nobody except right-wing fascists watch Fox for news. There are ratings you could put in a thimble. CBS only 7, PBS 5, ABC 4, MSNBC 2. Get that poll off of there. Here's a great idea for the good poll. Who's the ugliest QAM radio personality? Don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
I got a shot at that. Let's see, we'll have Defoe, Joe Rose, Geldy. Well, most of them don't know what Geldy looks like. Me, of course, George, who don't know what you look like either.
Pictures on the website.
Me, George, Hank. Hank will get a vote or two. Mandich, Paul Camper, Eddie K, Boog Shambi. Oh, there's a chance. I mean, Boog's lost a lot of weight, but 26th afternoon at 560 WQAM. I like naked guys.
Don't know how we do it until we see her, and I love this hit a McDonald's for a big man. When you rip his wheel, easy to see why girls wanna go. I'm stomach sick, but on the flabby backstreet road. All we ever wanted, all we ever needed, is there a one for
Top 30 at 560 WQM. Michael Kinsley in the Washington Post writes, George W. Bush's handling of the stupidity issue has been nothing short of brilliant. A Martian watching the last presidential debate might have concluded that this man would be well advised not to put quite so much emphasis on mental testing. But Earth-based commentators mostly shied away from such a conclusion. The rule seems to be that if a candidate can recite half a dozen policy positions by rote and name some foreign nations and leaders, one shouldn't point out that he sure seems a few whereases short of an executive order. The problem is probably laziness or complacency rather than actual inability, and the journalist's reluctance to call someone who may well be our next commander-in-chief a moron is understandable. But if George W. Bush isn't a moron, he's a man of impressive intellectual dishonesty and or confusion. His utterances frequently make no sense in their own terms. His policy recommendations often are internally inconsistent and mutually contradictory. Because it's harder to explain and prove, intellectual dishonesty doesn't get the attention that petty fibbing does, even though intellectual dishonesty indicts both a candidate's character and his policy positions both. All politicians, including Al Gore, get away with more of it than they should, but George W. gets away with an extraordinary amount of it. On Social Security, he continues to say he'll get the $1 trillion needed for his partial privatization out of the surplus. Doesn't he understand that the current surplus is committed to future benefits, which will have to be cut to make the numbers work? Or does he understand and not care? When he compares the paltry 2% return on Social Security with an alleged 6% return on private investments, does he know he's leaving out that $1 trillion in one case and including it in the other? Or has this fact failed to penetrate despite repeated exposures? When he calls the estate tax unfair, especially to farmers and small business people, because it taxes people twice, meaning first when they earn the money and again when they die, is he aware that the value of farms and businesses in the States has almost never been taxed as income? Or have his advisors and fellow business folks deceived him on this basic point? When he criticizes his opponent for cutting taxes through the use of tax credits, then gives an example of his own tax plan in which the cut is mostly through tax credits, is he fooling us or somebody fooling him? When he repeatedly attacks his opponent for partisanship, does he get the joke? When he blames the absence of federal patients' rights law on a lot of bickering in Washington, D.C., has he noticed that the bickering consists of his own party, which controls Congress, blocking the legislation? When he summarizes it's kind of like a political issue as opposed to a people issue, does he mean to suggest anything in particular? Perhaps that politicians, when acting politically, ignore the wishes of the people. How does he figure, if at all? When he repeatedly says he's got a clear vision about the Middle East but never gives a hint of what it is, should we assume that he's not for telling us about it? When he complains that there's no general strategy for America's role in the world and promises that he'll ask his Secretary of Defense to come up with one pronto, should we be reassured? When he criticizes the Clinton administration for misusing American soldiers as social workers and promises to get other countries to use their soldiers that way instead, does he notice the logical flaw here? In the debate, he declared, I don't want to use food as a diplomatic weapon from this point forward. We shouldn't be using food. It hurts the farmers. It's not the right thing to do. When just a few days later he criticized legislation weakening the trade embargo on Cuba, which covers food along with everything else, had he rethought his philosophy on the issue, or was there nothing to rethink? When he promises if he's elected we'll have a gag order on doctors and 100% of people will get the death tax, it's easy enough to figure out what he means. We won't have gag orders and nobody will pay the estate tax. But what does he mean when he says that insurance is a Washington term? When he promises that prescription drugs is an integral part of his Medicare, does he comprehend that the exact distinction between his plan and his opponent's is that his is not an integral part of Medicare? When he says that local control of schools is vital, criticizes his opponent for wanting to federalize education, promises as president to impose various requirements on schools, complains that federal money comes with too many strings, calls for after-school funds to be used for character education, endorses a federal law forbidding state lawsuits against teachers, and so on, does he have a path through this maze of contradictions? When he promises a federal school voucher program and deflects criticism by saying vouchers are up to states, is he being dense or diabolically clever? In short, does George W. Bush mean what he says, or does he understand it? The answer can't be both, and is both too much to ask for. Michael Kinsley in the Washington Post. Nice going there. We'll rip that up. What?
To rip that up.
Okay. You got it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Our new poll will be up momentarily, and it should be a little bit of fun, because this other stuff is not fun. Is it fun? No. It's like grinding your goddamn teeth in your sleep all night and waking up like with a nub in your mouth. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil, what's up with Al Gore here? Who picked the vice president for him?
Bunch of Jews.
I mean, that's the biggest screw-up ever.
Yeah.
And the woman, how could any woman vote for Bush? She must got her head in her bush. I don't get it.
Must be. Okay, very profound, pal. Thank you. Thank you for putting it all in proper perspective. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Got a great show going.
Yes, I do.
I think it's going to come down to the basic issue of taxation, and the American people are just tired of being taxed to death.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom line is, Gore wants bigger government, more taxes, more bureaucrats. Bush wants less government.
Sounds to me like you're just repeating the same propaganda that we did in the debates, yeah.
More money back to the taxpayers.
Uh-huh. Bull crap.
What do you think about the $50 million that Gore's going to leave out? That aren't going to
get all you're doing is repeating verbatim all the stuff that he said in the debate. I think maybe if you had a brain of your... See, if you could think for yourself, then I may have a conversation with you. But you can't think for yourself. All you're doing is spouting a bunch of statistics that he keeps quoting in the debates, which Gore's pointed out are totally incorrect. But hey, don't confuse you with the facts. And I hate to also break the news to you, except for some of you selfish fools out there who are wanting your 60 cents a day to buy a half a diet soda. I hate to break the news, but every single poll ever taken, including the one we took here before, taxes is not number one issue. It's not even in the top 5, not in the top 10. So what the hell are you talking about? tax cuts. And it's so familiar. Just, I guess in 20 years they're supposed to forget. Same old crap all over again. The big Reagan tax cuts for the rich, and the huge deficits, and the recession, and the trickle down that never trickled down. It was trickling down everybody else's leg is where it was trickling down, because we were in recession. And then, of course, there was the read my lips, no new taxes, that lie from a guy named Bush. So who the hell are you kidding, man? Lame, really lame. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil. I'm visiting Florida, and I'm pretty impressed with your show. I'm a 22-year-old Republican, and I actually wanted to start out by agreeing with you on a couple of things.
22-year-old Republican? That sounds like an oxymoron to me.
I know we're rare and far and few between, but we're out there hiding from people.
Mm-hmm. With good
The
reason.
first thing I'd like to agree with you about is I definitely think that voting was picking the lesser of two evils, sad to say. And I think the second thing I'd like to agree with you is the point you just made a second ago about the issues, specifically the tax issue, is not the main theme. And mostly, I don't think any of the issues are the underlying theme for the outcome of this election. What I really feel is that the Republicans are just more energized than the Democrats in this one. And it's sad for Al Gore, but I really think that a lot of what might do him in is not lying about things, not the character issue, not where he stands on things, but I think the Republicans see the defeat of Al Gore as the final defeat of possibly Bill Clinton. And I think when Clinton got away with everything that Republicans whine about that he got away with, I think that a lot of the Republican base see if they can defeat Al Gore as the final defeat. And
that may be the way the Republicans see it, but Clinton still got a 65% job approval rating.
That's true.
The public is, when you see Bill McCollum take a pasting from Bill Nelson, which he will in 2 weeks, the big part of the reason will be, and you also see the guy out in California and some of these other congressmen take a whipping because of their role in Penisgate. The American public is still foaming at the mouth about the $50 or $60 million that was wasted in the witch hunts that proved absolutely nothing, except the president got a few blowjobs.
And I agree with you again. I think we went way overboard on that deal. But I just think that it comes down to which base is more energized. I don't think the Democrats have very much to be excited about on behalf of Gore. And actually, Bush isn't very exciting himself. But I think that Republicans get excited at the thought of.
Well, there's no question about that. In fact, all the TV ratings after the debates were on, far more Republicans watch the debates than Democrats. Far more. So the Democrats are busy laying back, sleeping, and doing whatever the hell they're doing. The rabid Republicans, especially the right-wingers, are chomping at the bit, just like when they had Reagan, because now they see their chance to grab control again and push their agenda.
Yeah, I think they smell blood and they're going to go for it, and then you throw in Nader, and it doesn't look good for your guy.
Okay, good luck to us.
Alrighty.
Okay. See you on the boat. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. How anybody with even a half a brain, with one little particle of gray matter, could waste a vote on Nader right now. I think Buchanan's looking pretty good for you Bush people. Don't you? Pat Buchanan. I mean, here's the underdog. He can't even crack 1%. Old fascist Pat. Huh? At least one thing, he doesn't beat around the bush. Oh, I'm sorry. 20 before 1 at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
America loves to watch boobs and butts and boinking.
And now the first question, as determined by a flip of a coin, it goes to Vice President Gore. Vice President Gore, you have questioned whether Governor Bush has the experience to be President of the United States. What exactly do you mean?
Do-bop-de-doo. Boom, 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 boom. Do-bop-de-doo. Boom, 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 boom.
Governor Bush, 1 minute rebuttal. Is it fair to say, okay, the differences between Vice President Gore and George W. Bush, Governor Bush, are the following. You are for doing something on the consumption end. You're for doing something on the production and drilling.
Let me clarify.
Yep. Governor Bush, if elected president, would you try to overturn the FDA's approval last week of the abortion pill RU 486? Vice President Gore? Governor, I will go to the Supreme Court question in a moment, but make sure I understand your position on RU 486. If you're elected president, will you not through appointments to the FDA, you wouldn't support legislation to overturn this? Vice President Gore?
What you want for nothing?
Thank you, Governor Bush. Vice President Gore. See you next week. And for now, from Boston, I'm Jim Ware. Thank you, and good night.
And Jim, you suck. Lightweight questions that even a third-grade student would be embarrassed by. Nice going, Jim. Go back to PBS because nobody's watching. Does that mean no poll isn't up yet? Eric's working on it. He's trying to figure out how to spell, Yeah. 15 till 1 at 560 WQAM. 5670560, pound 5. Don't go out to the, pack mail. Don't go out there because Miguel's gone, because it's pouring rain, cats, and dogs. We had $640. It would have been a lot better, except it's the end of the world out there. At least he got his bagels. Did he get his bagels? He got something. I'll bet. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Yeah, Miguel's one of those people. Anytime he walks outside of the building, he can get it. In fact, just in the building, he could get something. Of course, he don't want it. Here's Kendall. Hello. Kendall.
Century Village, Neil. Look it up.
Century Village? That's what I thought he said. Look it up. Oh, that's right. We just heard it in the song. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Don't say nothing on line 2 where this is. Not that I really care. Here's line 2. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Bush says he's pro-life, except when it comes to death row inmates and himself.
Yeah.
Last Friday, Larry Flint appeared on CNN.
Yeah, I know that.
And
I read part of the transcript.
Well, he reported that Bush paid for and impregnated a woman, paid for the abortion, while it was illegal.
And
this was before Roe versus Wade.
And the guy who faxed me the part of the transcript has discovered, much to his dismay, that it has miraculously disappeared from the CNN website.
Smells, doesn't it?
It sure do.
Okay, Neil.
That's what W said too. It smells real bad. Maybe he shouldn't have put his nose in there. 5670560, and I'm just curious, because a lot of these Bush people, I'm thinking would change their minds. His character is not an issue. Clinton's character, that was an issue, and Gore, who other than the fact that he's compulsively an exaggerator, but other than that, he's so goddamn squeaky clean, it makes him even more boring. Not to mention his frickin' wife, Tipper. Oh, God. I tell you, she looks like Squeaky Farm, doesn't she, on a better hair day? Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil, Uncle Neil, how you doing, sir?
Okay.
Uncle Neil, let's not forget the NRA in this.
Yeah.
They said they were going to have their own person in office.
They said that they were going to have somebody in Bush's orifice, is what they said.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The thing is, if Bush becomes president, I think I'm going to want my guns back.
Yeah, you may need them.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good one.
I think that all minority groups will need to be stocking up heavy duty. So all you gun dealers on 441, get ready for a land office business just in case. 5670560. Keep pumping that number, baby. You kill some really valuable time, man. This is not a stupid man here on the radio. He knows just keep giving those numbers out, repeating them over and over and over again. Even though you got a bunch of calls there, that's okay. You can never give those numbers out too often, can you? No. No way. How about that game last night? We're going to talk about that? No. No way. Here's the mobile and Davey. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing today?
All right.
Just a couple things. First of all, that Michael Kinsley article you read?
Yes.
Was that from today's paper?
It was Sunday's Washington Post.
Sunday's, okay. Thank you very much. Second thing, last night I finally saw a commercial, a Democratic commercial with Gore finally saying something about the Supreme Court justice appointments.
And that's been a long time coming.
Well, you know something I'm noticing in their spots, and maybe this was intentional. They're saving a lot of this heavy-duty stuff at the very end, so it'll have the greatest impact. That might be part of it.
Well, that's a good point. But you know what? That is the single most important issue.
You bet, absolutely. All the other stuff, most of it is political rhetoric, and playing with the numbers and who's going to give the biggest tax cut and who's going to get most of it, and Social Security. Politicians do that all the time. But the one thing that's indisputable is that whoever becomes the next president is going to have 3-4 appointments at least to the Supreme Court, and that effect and impact is going to last for decades.
Absolutely, and I was brought up in a religious household, and I finally got the wool out from over my eyes
Thank
and realized
God.
what's going on. And there's no way that anybody should vote Republican for this. It's just absolute, total control is what they're looking for.
And I'm going to tell you something, as frightening as it is Bush getting in there, because the Congress is so damn close, both the House and the Senate, if you wind up getting Bush in with the Republican Congress, then it's really going to be time to head for the airport, clutching that passport tight.
I already have mine, and I'm getting ready to go. But one last thing I wanted to make a comment about. A few minutes ago you said something about read my lips, about no new taxes.
Yeah.
In Sunday's Sun Sentinel comics section, the comic strip called Non Sequitur brought up the fact that there's a guy in the strip called Obvious Man, and he brought up the fact that the president has no control over that. It's a Congress thing.
Right.
So that's, the point is that it doesn't matter what the president says about taxes, it's got to pass Congress.
Absolutely.
So,
okay.
Bless us all.
Hang in there, pal.
There we go. Hey, y'all, my name is Clarence Eugene Thomas, President Bush's nominee for the Supreme Court. And you know, there's lots of people out there that think just I smoked a little marijuana when I was in college. And it wasn't nothing but a pen joint. Well, maybe a cigar-sized joint. I don't remember, y'all. That they don't think I'm fit to be on the Supreme Court. Yeah, I got the munchies. Let's do this quick and get out of here. I want to set y'all straight. When I stop reviewing the law, I don't just review the law. Hell, y'all, I been talking. Right. And I took it to the east, and I took it to the west, and I took it while I look up Saturday kind of undressed. I been talking. Let's go burn one, y'all.
1251 at 560 WQM. I understand that issue is a little bit too complex for most people out there to understand, the Supreme Court and the other federal judges and people's. And then, of course, they had Gary Bauer on there this morning. You see him? Ooh, he's a scary little thing. Gary Bauer was on one of the morning shows while I was channeling. Maybe it was on CNN. And he was talking. Oh, no, he was on against Jesse. See, as much as I have problems with Jesse Jackson, with my feelings about him, because there are times when I despise him like poison, and then there are other times when he's not being a professional spook and agitator. There are other times when I love him, because he's one of the most articulate spokesmen for liberal causes and against the right-wing fanatics and these religious nuts, even though being a minister himself and making a lot of money off unsuspecting sportsers, but nevertheless. He was great against Gary Bauer. And Gary Bauer's going, well, the Supreme Court judges, the Boy Scouts have a right to discriminate against those facts. And abortion is murder, we know that, and on with that whole litany of right-wing crap. Gary Bauer. No relation to Papa Bauer. Boy, I'll tell you one thing, I'd write in Hank Bauer before I think about Gary Bauer. That's where you are. You can't separate them, and you'll notice that, you know what the real proof in the pudding is? The religious nuts have got a choice. If they didn't believe that Bush was in bed with them and extremist enough, Buchanan would be doing more than like 0.7 of 1 point. He'd be up there just with Nader with 4 or 5 points. He'd be in the running. Maybe even more than that. But he's not. So that goes to show you that Bush has assured all his right-wing friends that he's right with them with his faith-based charity and all this other bullcrap and the school vouchers and all the other good, obedient things that he's talking about. I mean, these people are so rabid like that. And I'll give it to that young guy who said he was a 22-year-old Republican. He's right. They're highly motivated. And the rest of the public is sitting out there going, like that. Like, why bother and can't we talk about the Dolphin game? Stuff like that. Hi, Aaliyah. Hello.
Neil, how much money are you getting paid? You're getting under the...
Yeah,
What am I?
Yeah. One of your people, one of your spicks in Hialeah. Why don't you get a brain and think for yourself, okay? You people came here looking for freedom. All you know is fascism. That's all you know about. Batista, fascism. Why don't you call up Lord-ass Limbaugh and see how much money he's getting paid to spout his right-wing crap? See, nobody has to pay me to give my opinions. They pay me to come in and do a show. I give whatever opinions I want. And my first opinion, foremost, is you're an asshole, okay? That's my number one opinion today. You're a major, big, oozing, smelly asshole. That's my opinion of you. That's why so many people ran out of Hialeah, because of people like you. Same old tired crap repeating just like a goddamn parrot in a cage. All the brainwashed garbage, just like we heard during those months of Alien, the same nonsense over and over and over again. Mindless rhetoric. Garbage. Get with the program. Stop being hyphenated. Stop being a hyphenated human being. Stop being a goddamn Americoon, okay? And paying attention to what it's really all about. Communism, communista, all that. Like the story. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. You know, the day will come when we'll be face to face with that creature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the Eddie guy. The day will come.
And all the king's horses.
And all the king's men.
Won't be able to hold me back.
Exactly. Someone who obviously has got a very, very serious, deep-seated mental problem. I think he said Mighty Bell was out of town.
He called, by the way.
For what?
To say that he'll be back tomorrow, and as soon as the disc or whatever that thing comes in, he'll have all the numbers we want.
Where is he?
He loves this. In New York.
What do you mean he loves this? Are you really that much of a wimp? Jesus Christ, don't you have any self-respect? You just got through just got through with number one in the summer, and then the whole the asterisk in there, which I didn't show you. It said the only reason George did this was the 2 weeks he did on eating ass. Yeah, that's right. Eating ass is what put George over the top, at least the show anyway. And you're sucking up to a guy that came in there and tried to interfere with your frickin' show. And I do mean frickin' show.
He's comic relief.
Oh. He's comic relief. You must really love Peter Leonard. Yeah.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Oh, boy. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Gentlemen, closing statements. You begin, Senator Lieberman. Bernie, Al Gore and I are committed to making America's public schools crumbling classrooms. I have tried very hard in my career to act in a way that brings down the institutions of government and each of us individually. And for a while, I was drilling a life of Gaza, and the deeper I got... That time is up, Senator. Thank you, sir. Mr. Secretary.
George Bush is a good man, an honorable man, a man of high taxes. And Governor Bush and I are going to reform the Social Security system so that senior citizens suffer this winter and make a first-rate president.
Secretary Cheney, Senator Lieberman, we thank you.
We thank you. Thank you, Bernie. 1 o'clock at 560 WQM. It's our big 1 to 2 hour. Got Hank at Flagler today, plunging his guts out. Al Downing will be on with Hank at 4. Lamar Thomas at 5 in the wake of last night's disaster. And 6 o'clock, you have Brooke Shambi, 8 o'clock, World Series game number 3, as the Yankees will pound the Mets again. Same old stuff. Getting pretty ponderous. Our poll is up. Who's the ugliest WQM personality? Thank you, Doug and Weston, for a great idea. How many votes we got so far? One moment, please. 18 votes. Hank's leading with 7. George has got 3. George isn't ugly. George is like, they just don't like you. See, we didn't ask you who do you dislike the most. George would definitely be in the running for that, especially all the Jews. Hank's got 7. George has got 3. And guess who else has got 3? You're tied with George Hidaki. How do you like that? With 3. Little Dog has got 2. Mandit's 1. Josh Friedman 1. I got 1. And nobody else has got any. How come we put Josh Friedman on there when nobody else? See, now you did that. I didn't do that. I was just joking about that. They don't know what he looks like.
I thought you were...
Well, how would they know what he looks like? I mean, you can leave him on there, Eric, but if they knew who he looked like, it's a no-brainer. You know. He makes Joe Zagacki look like Brad Pitt. Huh? Am I right?
I'm trying to think of an approximation.
I mean, if you're going to put him on there, we could put the Beast on there, but we don't want to do that because we like the Beast. We don't want to give him a shot. I mean, there are plenty of people around it. This isn't the place where we have like a lot of real fine-looking people in this building. In Power 96 and QAM, anywhere in this building. There are not what you call a lot of really hot-looking people in this building. Trust me when I tell you.
No.
Oh.
Not on this floor.
Especially when Miguel is out. Here's a mobile in Aventura. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Jim here. How you doing? Long
Okay,
time
Jim.
listener, first time caller.
Yes, sir.
2 things.
Why we don't go after Bush records in Texas that he pregnant that woman and he paid for abortion? Why don't you look into that?
Well, why don't I look into it? Well, I guess Larry Flint's looking into it. He's got his nose deep into it, and then maybe it'll come out, so to speak. We hope.
And another thing, I can't believe the people voting for this idiot Bush, that they forgot the Republicans were responsible for shutting the government down a couple of years ago, and they were getting Clinton in trouble and all that.
Getting Clinton in trouble, right.
Monica Lewinsky and all that,
right.
All Republicans. How come these people go ahead and vote for this idiot?
Beats the heart of me, sir. I'm puzzled. At this point, if you would ask me, Gore, as weak as he is, he ought to be 20 points ahead. Beats the living daylight out of me.
I'm telling you.
I think it's a plot. Maybe we'll all be surprised that maybe Gore will win by 20 points.
If that dead brain becomes the president of this country, God gonna.
God bless America. Okay, good luck to us, sir. What do you say? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Oh, look at this. So far, I'm catching up, but the battle is shaping up between, hey, stupid, and Joe's the guy. Look at that. And, of course, they're pretty good buddies. 10 apiece so far. I'm in there with 5. I'm moving up the ladder. George has got 4. Little Dog has got 2. Boog with 2, and then it's down the list with 1 apiece. See, if they knew what Josh Friedman looked like, if we could send him each a picture real quick. I mean, think of it, the biggest pile of elephant droppings you've ever seen in your life. With a beard. With a beard. Yeah, that's good. That smelled even 10 times worse than you'd expect. With like cheese around the edges. Oh, yeah, that's Josh Friedman. Here's the Westchester. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just listened a little bit, and I was on to say I'd be thrilled to cast the dock lines off on that boat that you and your pals are going to get on when JWGW gets there.
Me and my pals, and who are those?
All these brilliant people that I've listened to for the last 10 or 15 minutes, you really have a brilliant, articulate following. And you know, there's a saying that
I didn't hear any. Sir, can you listen? Can you have a conversation or just make a lot of noise?
All right, I'm sorry.
I didn't hear any of the other not so intellectual people talk about the other side are all going to get on a boat and leave when Gore gets in. I didn't hear any of them saying that.
No, because somebody has to stay here and try and.
Yeah. Blow it out your ass, okay, my great intellectual friend. See, obviously Bush appeals to the intellectuals. Us slobs over here, we just can't relate to it. We're not up to his level. Who are you kidding, Dumbo? Yeah, can't wait to see you and your buddies. I wonder what that's code for, huh? Yeah. Another one of these right-wing nuts. I just have a feeling that he's not going to win. I really have a feeling Bush is going to wind up losing now. I do. People are going to wake up and see what's all about, who the people are he's in bed with, if I can say that. 5, 6, 7. I mean, who'd you rather be in bed with, Monica Lewinsky or Jerry Bauer? Tough choice, but here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Is this Neil?
Sounds like me.
Neil, I wanted to make two very quick points on the statement that Bush makes.
Yes?
And this right-wing...
Now, are you going to be on that boat leaving after Bush gets in like this last guy said?
Well, no. Let me, all these right-wing religious people, they all talk about abortion and the murder of the fetus and everything else like that, but they never talk about the NRA, which they got there in a hip pocket, which keep on killing people, and they don't want to say anything about it. What a difference between what they say about abortion, and then they don't want to bring...
Sir, you're confused. You don't understand. They don't care about people who are alive. All they care about is the unborn fetus. Don't confuse them with the facts. All of their fetus lovers. They're obsessed.
You're
it's like a mental illness.
They don't confuse them with the facts.
Right.
Another thing I wanted to tell you that, many times Bush has said, fuzzy math. I wish Gore had replied, maybe math is very fuzzy to you because you don't understand it.
Right, that would have been good. And very accurate. But unfortunately, they're playing just like Lieberman, they're playing the marshmallow toss, and they don't want to, I think right now that they've been backed into a corner. Now you're noticing they're starting to get a little bit more desperate.
That's all, Nate. Keep up the good work.
Okay, I'll see you on the boat. That's what Noah said in that Ark. Noah's Ark. Anybody ever shop at Noah's Ark in Rochester? Yeah. Hardware store. That's the only Noah's Ark that ever existed. Where's the hardware store? Oh, no, but God told Noah to get 2 of every creature. Yeah, but why do you have to get Josh Friedman on there? Couldn't we have lived without him? Oh. Of course, the show I told you God was at S&M. How's that poll coming? See, I hate having to keep flipping this thing up. God, I hate this. Oh, we have a long list? Who's the ugliest WQAM personality? Hank 17, Joe Zagacki 14, Neil 5, Josh Friedman 5, even a sight unseen. I guess the description of the elephant dung kind of like did the job. George has got 4, Joe Rose 3, Mandich has got 2, Shabby with a pair, Kaplan with 1, and none for Defo, Geldy, Joe Costello, or Kimber Bocamper. See, they're afraid to, I mean, not that Kim is ugly, but they're afraid to vote for him anyway because he's so damn big. If he did, he would find out where the goddamn vote came from and go to their house and personally beat the crap out of him. He's the guy who can do it, believe me, about 8'10". 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Out-of-town line is wide open, 877-785-6345. We'll get more calls from the West Coast. Here's a mobile in Margate. Hello.
Hi, this is Richard. How are you?
Yes, Richard.
You know, I read a whole article about a day ago that somebody brought to work about George Bush, Governor Bush's grandfather being involved in a heavy supporter of Nazi Germany before the World War II, and in doing prior to World War II, putting tons of money into that Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know if I could fax the article to you. It's factual or written by some journalists, and I don't know why anybody ever doesn't publish it in the newspaper to show the background of the man and where the money came from and the oil money that he grew up with.
Okay, fax it to us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 8 minutes after 1 at QAM.
Get the best of Neil Rogers 2000. Just go to a Specs Music Store near you or WQAM.com on the net. The best of Neil 2000 with great hits like...
So, Paula Jones, you got a new nose. That don't impress me much.
And who could forget the Neil Rogers keychain with great sound effects like...
It puts the lotion in the basket.
That's the American fucking way.
Oh, those timeless classics. The best of Neil Rogers 2000 from Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Because they're a bunch of assholes.
Can't get enough of those 4 foul-mouthed kids from South Park? Well, Comedy Central changes attitudes and latitudes with 4 wise guys from Alabama. Join the laughs in the all-new animated series, Deep South Park.
You smell a possum-eating hillbilly? I bet your daddy did your sister every night.
Oh, what's your point, Rufus?
It's Deep South Park with all the dirty language and ethnic slurs to ensure instant success.
How come every time some gets in the with the sheep? That's because the is a and he don't like sheep.
It's Deep South Park, just like South Park, except with outrageous Southern accents.
Oh my God! They killed Billy Bob! You Yankee bastard!
Oh well, let's go hunt some roadkill.
Deep South Park, coming soon to Comedy Central.
114 at 560 WQAM. We got 77 votes on the most important poll we've taken in a long time. Who's the ugliest QAM personality? Leading with 29 votes is...
Hey, stupid!
Hank with 29. Joe Zagacki's got 18. I got 6. Josh Friedman's got 6. They haven't even seen him yet. Well, if they've seen him, he'd probably have 400 by now. Joe Rose with 5. George has got 4. Mad Dog has 3. Eddie K with 3. Boog with 2. Geldy with 1. None for Bocamper. None for Costello. And none for Depot. I guess they haven't seen him lately. Wow. Talk about paunchy and... Seriously, I hate to say this, because he's okay in his own paranoid way. But you know in 10 years he's going to be down there at trackside, at some track like Balmoral or somewhere, kicking over losing tickets, looking for it. Somebody dropped a 280 to show ticket on the ground. You know, that's going to be him, you know, with a beer in his hand, sloshing all over his T-shirt and that big puppet hanging out. God. Man, that's Beefo. Here's the mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil, I keep hearing these Republicans say the same thing, and it's driving me crazy, that they balanced the budget. It was a Democratic Congress that balanced the budget in '93, and that's why we lost control of the majority over there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, don't confuse them with the facts.
Yeah, don't confuse them about the 22 million new jobs and about the low unemployment, the lowest minority unemployment, all of these things. I mean, this all happened just by accident. And the fact that the Clinton-Gore administration wasn't able to get a lot of things done on health care and about patients' bill of rights is because of that Republican Congress. This has been the most partisan Congress since '94 when they took control. This has been the most partisan Congress in the history of this country. 567-0560. In fact, look back at the goddamn impeachment hearings. If it wasn't for the fact that just a small, tiny handful of Republicans couldn't stomach the witch hunt that was going on, we'd have had an impeachment conviction for blowjobs and lying about blowjobs. Wow. And the rest of the world laughing at us, laughing and crying at how embarrassing this country is in juvenile. Because that's the right wing for you. It's always that game of gotcha, gotcha, gotcha with your pants down, gotcha. The only problem is that like 5 minutes later, somebody comes back to them, gotcha, Bob Livingston, gotcha, Henry Hyde, gotcha, Dan Burton, and maybe in a few days, gotcha, W. Oh yeah, won't that? You know something? I will be streaming down my legs for hours. If that should happen. The moment that hits on TV, when Bernie Shaw comes out with a straight face and says, "Bulletin, we just got the news." Yeah, we're spreading the news. Lady in Pembroke Pines, hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Neil, you are great.
Yes, I am.
You are a great debater.
I'm the greatest.
You are a great debater. You win them all.
Yeah.
You win them all.
Because I got the button.
You know what scares me?
Yes.
I watched the Senate debate, and we got a big, ugly Schwarzer in the middle of McCullen and Nelson.
I guess he was there to be like kind of a referee, the buffer.
Well, let me tell you, this guy is almost sure he's going to win. He's sick.
Oh, he's sure he's going to win?
He's sick that he thinks the Schwartz is going to win. But he's taking away the votes from Nelson and giving it to McCullen, that ugly guy. Do you remember Joey Brown?
Yeah.
In the movie?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever look at McCullen?
Hey, McCullen is across between Joey Brown and Howdy Doody, yeah. Uh-huh.
He looks just like his son.
Yeah.
That's not fair enough. Now we have Nader taking away Gore's vote.
Yeah, well, that means you have to go 5 times instead of 4.
Can Bush lose?
Of course you can lose.
Well, when you have these...
Even CNN admitted yesterday there's only 2 points ahead and I can't talk over you and I'm not going to continue doing it. Because you refuse to take a breath. Take a breath and come up for air, sweetheart. I'm telling you, this phone system, how we've survived 3 years plus now in this horseball operation. They can't hear us. There is no... This isn't set up like a real talk show here. So there's no... You can hear there's no compression on this thing. So we're doing a duet half of the time. And a lot of times you sit here thinking that they're being rude. They just can't hear you. But don't start bitching about the engineering here, because then Bob Vermouth will get all upset and he'll start going off on another binge again. You know, I'm kind of embarrassed because we got that other guy that looks like Bob Vermouth. I hate to admit this to you. You know the one I'm talking about? The tall guy with the glasses that looks just like Bob Vermouth, the engineering guy that they hired.
Oh, Jim, they don't look anything alike. Bob Vermouth has
the hell they don't.
Beard and glasses.
Well, besides the beard, they look like clones. And a lot of times I'll see the other guy, and I like purposely avoid even looking at him, much less speaking to him, because I think, oh, that's Bob.
Jim's like 10 feet tall and skinny. But
I'm sorry.
Face.
No, I'm not talking about the tree.
Who else?
Well, who's that other guy that looks just like Bob Vermouth? With glasses. Who is that guy? See, we got so many people running around. Well, don't you know who I'm thinking of?
No.
He looks like his kissing cousin. Spitting image. And then the other day I saw him come in down there, and then I saw the real Bob Vermouth out there on the phone. Bob Vermouth likes to stand out there on a cell phone in the parking lot, under the building, pretending he's like a big shot. Like Maddie, what's his name from Whammy? Remember Maddie Lesham? Remember those days from Whammy? So anyway, I was at Dillard's last night, I'm proud to say, because I'm the only one who shops there anymore in the Broward Mall, picking up a few things. And there was a young Latin, I think probably Cuban, guy waiting on me. Very nice guy. Pretty good looking, too. A little heavy. Now, here's a good guy. And he said, oh, you're in your Rogers, and this and that. And you know where he knew me from? I mean, he knew about the radio show, but you know where he knew me from? Lemmy. And the most amazing part of it is all these people say, oh, yeah, is that show still on? It's been, what, a year and a half now that show's been off, thank God? And they still, oh, yeah, what time is that show on now?
Lemmy! God, it sucks.
Yeah, good old Maddie Lesham. Another Israeli. I told her, don't do business with the Israelis. I tried telling all those Arabs that, too. They won't listen to me. Oh, there he goes again. You're not Jewish enough, Neil. You're not Jewish enough. Why don't you support that Jew Lieberman? Because he makes my skin crawl. How's that for you, huh? For starters. I don't know why you're being so negative. It's just, we're just trying to be reasonable people with very good plans for the future, and we just, so what's wrong with putting a mezuzah on your, ass? Here's a call in Naples. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was looking through this article in the Times about the credibility issue on Bush. Apparently he exaggerated state spending on health care by 300%. I'm sure you know about that.
Yes.
But in the article, the most frightening thing was that he held up the children's health insurance program because he was afraid of the spillover effect where they pick up more Medicaid children eligible for Medicaid. Meanwhile, I'm driving down the street here in Naples and behind these Cadillacs and Range Rovers, and it says Bush Cheney leave no child behind.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Thanks, Neil. Keep it up.
Good luck to you, pal. I'd keep on driving if I were you. Oh, can you imagine over there on the West Coast? Can you even begin to imagine? No. Wow. They got Bush branded on their armpits. I'll guarantee you that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 105 votes already in the ugliest QN personality contest. Guess who's winning by a fairly good margin now? Of course, things could change. 43. That was funny. 41%. And right on his behind is Joe Zagacki. Yeah, with 19. Of course, they've seen him. He's been on TV now and then, when you want to get really depressed. See, you can't complain. I see a lot of similarity between Joe Zagacki and Dick, who's the guy that Hank was sucking up to on Friday, that sports guy? Dick Stockton. I see a lot of similarity. You can't complain about either one of their personality, because Zagacki and Stockton, neither one has got a personality. Wouldn't. Neil Rogers with 9. Yeah, I always wanted to have. Behind. Joe Rose with 7. Josh Friedman with 6, sight unseen. Mad Dog with 5. George with 4. Defoe now with a 7-4. Now that they found out how fat and grotesque he's gotten. Eddie K with 3. Geldy with 2. Big with 2. Bill Camper with 1. And John Costello has got... Hey! Like that. I told you Joe wouldn't get any votes. Joe isn't ugly, but he has that nose thing. He's got that Roman nose. It's a big one. And the nose, too. 5, 6, 7. Well, you've been out with him. Here's now, line 6 is still not working. I just double-checked it to see if maybe during the course of the show they might have been working on this. See, I got news for you guys. We're not going to sit back and tolerate this, this slack attitude just because of the fact the book came out and you guys lucked out again. I have never seen such lucky people in my life as these Weasleys. I've never seen anything like it. They just keep... Every time, I bet you in bed, they have to get up and rinse off at night because they keep falling into a bucket of Schmidt every hour on the hour. They roll over, oh, gee, there you go. Another bucket of Schmidt we just fell into. Man. Here's a mobile in Lake Worth. Hello.
Hey, Neil, I'm in Boca now.
Here's a mobile in Boca.
There we go. 2 things, Neil. First, I wanted to say that George did a great job during the summer while you were away.
Well, that's obvious now, in spite of all his detractors out there.
Yeah, well, at first it was hard to get used to him, but he grew on me like a wart, but it was good. Second thing is, I think an age-old question was answered from 12 years ago. Why did George Bush pick Dan Quayle as his running mate? Because he reminded him of his son.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because
never saw the two of them together.
And you listen to Dan Quayle and all those things you were reading about what he says, things that he has said, sounds just like Dan Quayle to me.
Yeah. I think Quayle's a rocket scientist compared to W. I really do.
You're right about that. And I go with you. No BM, no TM. Let's get rid of him. Get a real coach in here.
I think, when they got Jersey tomorrow, Ottawa on Saturday, it could continue being a really ugly week. I think that the handwriting's on the wall.
I'm very sorry to say I have tickets. We got season tickets. I'm going to be there tomorrow night, and I don't know if I really want to watch it. I think it's going to be very ugly.
I'll see you there.
Okay.
Bring a good book. Okay. Bring a little flashlight and a good book. That's my best advice. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. We're getting up there. I guarantee we got more than 35 grand for Planned Parenthood now. And we're going to do over 40 in the month of October, which is pretty astonishing and inspiring, considering the fact, as usual, we embarrassingly got off to a slow start. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
And the website, I just voted for you, you big maricon.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, he got his vote. That's that's a wonderful American. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. That's why I picked up a little bit in the poll. I'm up to 10. But Hank's up to 50. Hank is pulling away.
What an embarrassment.
Hank is in the lead and just pulling away and not looking back. He's just drawing away from the field with 50. Zagacki 24, yours truly with 10, Little Dog with 8, the Mad Dog with 7. A lot of dogs in here. Josh Friedman with 6, George with 5, Defoe with 4. Defoe, be having 4. Eddie K and the Elder with 3, Bo Camper with 2, Luke Shambi with 2. Let me push this thing up a second here, wait a minute. And, Joe finally got 1, because they didn't want him to feel left out with that big schnoz.
His girlfriend voted in.
No, she did not. She did not say he's got a big nose. 26 after 1 at 560 WQS.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
This is your club host, Stinky, reminding you to join us every Friday and Saturday night at the Orifice for the best dance party around. Orifice. The Orifice brings you the best in music from famous DJs such as Kid Mark, Jazzy Gary, and DJ Bowell. Orifice. Stop on by when the Orifice really lets loose on Thursday night as DJ Rock Ass presents the Loose Scholar Contest. The Orifice is open every night from 10 until 3. The Orifice. It will blow you away. Orifice.
130 at 560 WQAM. How's that poll doing? 141 votes. I knew this would go over big. I told you. Hank with 56, Joe Zagacki with 27, I got 10, Joe Rose with 9, Manage with 8, Josh Friedman 7, George with 6, Defoe with 5, Jody with 4, Eddie K with 3, Bo Camper, Shambi, and now Joe Costello each have a pair. Here's a mobile in North Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, who do you like in the World Series tonight? Yanks or Mets?
What are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about? Are you a moron? Are you some kind of an asshole? Oh. 5670560. Call one of the sports shows, okay, because that's all they know about is games on this station. 567-400 open lines, half an hour to go. We've obviously tested them today, and they've run out of gas. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Pathetic. Just tragic. Here's the mobile in Stewart. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First time caller, you got a great program.
Yes, I do. Too bad the callers are so bad, yes.
I just want to make one quick comment. It's a crime that this, as great as a country as this is, that we don't have better candidates than those two running. But let me ask you one question, and I'll hang up. I saw on television last night where the Wooden Indian was on Air Force 2. Now, how can he go around the country on a government plane unless are we being reimbursed for that? Or
I'm sure the campaign is paying for whatever it is. Part of it anyway.
I'm as crooked as this administration has been in the past 8 years, I would like to see that.
What does that mean, as crooked as this administration has been in the last 8 years? What is it that they're doing that Republicans don't do that they all don't do? What does that mean?
Well, they all do. But I'm saying, as far as Gore, with all his fundraising with the Chinese, and let me say one thing, Hillary. God forbid Hillary make it. If Hillary makes it in New York, I think the country has had it, because this woman.
The country has had it.
Yeah, this Hillary is the most crooked bitch that's ever hit the United States political trail. When she was first in, she tried to destroy medicine. She tried to destroy
medicine.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She had.
What does that have to do with crooked? First of all, it's ridiculous the way that you say it. She tried to destroy medicine. But what does that have to do with crooked?
Do you know how much?
They spent $50 million to investigate her, and they couldn't find a goddamn thing.
Wrong. Do you know how many?
No, not wrong. Right.
Do you know how many positions she had on?
Yeah, probably Prone was probably the favorite one, I would imagine. This guy starts out with a song and dance about it's a shame we don't have better candidates, and then he goes in his usual right-wing pile of turd. If Hillary gets in, it's going to be like the end. It's going to be we're finished if Hillary gets in, as opposed to Rick Blasio. If he gets in, then we're going to be saved. He looks like the savior to me. He looks like a little vacuous Newt Gingrich clone greaseball is what he looks like to me. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a call from D.C. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listener under 100 and proud owner of 2 keychains and the best of CD.
All right.
Listen, after listening to your callers the past couple weeks,
I'm so sorry.
I couldn't help but call. I guess what I'm getting at is the problem with these people is that what Paul Miller calls they've developed a culture of amnesia. And what that means for your listeners is that they can't think for themselves. It's just easier to be a passive consumer and be told what's right and what's wrong. And that's the reason why the whole election is at the state that it's in right now. I mean, I personally don't care for either candidate, but I look at the hard facts and question, each one for whatever, positions they may be on, and I make my decision based on that. I am voting for Al Gore. Mm-hmm. He is a better candidate for many different reasons. I mean, I don't agree with what Tipper did many years ago with the whole censorship thing. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the main problems in this country is censorship.
Well, that's the moot point. Like I said right in the very beginning when they picked Drew Lieberman, and when he and Hadassah started running around with the Tipper, and then, of course, Lynn Cheney, I said, at least we know that both parties are in favor of censorship and gutting the First Amendment, so at least there's no choice there.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's just, again, censorship. What do these people with basically amnesia, what are they listening to? They're listening to the media pumping them with basically what they need to hear in order to vote for Bush or Gore. Mm-hmm. They're listening to the pretty things, and then things like, I mean, the caller that sent you the transcript from, what's his name, Hustler guy.
Larry Flint.
Yeah. As soon as, somebody finds out that that's on the net, it gets pulled right away. They censor it because somebody's questioning what the reality is. So, I mean, unfortunately...
But it goes beyond that. I mean, there are 8 trillion things on the Internet, and a lot of them are bullcrap. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they get yanked off of there right away. When you see something like that, somebody is pulling some heavy-duty strings to make sure that that's not on there.
Exactly, and that's one of the main problems in this country. I mean, I grew up here in the States, but with a heavy, I guess, Spanish from Spain, European culture. And all the problems that we're experiencing in our country today, these are things that happened hundreds of years ago in Europe. And again, modern-day culture, the society today doesn't want to look to historical references in order to solve the problems, which have been solved, hundreds of years ago.
Well, the biggest problem in this country is the dumbness problem. You've got so many ignorant people who don't have any idea of the system, how it works, who the hell these people are. They know from nothing.
It comes down to education.
All they know is that they paid $50 to watch Tyson with another bogus fight last weekend.
Just because it's enough to pass time.
Yep, you got it.
So, all right, Neil. Take care and keep the faith, man.
Thanks a lot.
Take it easy.
567, like Howard Beale said, we're in the boredom-killing business. There's a lot of bored people. How about reading a book, huh? You want to read a book?
No.
Or maybe just have somebody read one to you. You might find it fascinating. Maybe just call up Oprah. Maybe she'll start reading those books to you. Keep her away from the refrigerator. Out-of-town line is open, 877-785-6345. Hi, Aaliyah. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How are you?
Okay.
Listen, Neil, a couple of things. If somebody wants to read a book on the evils of mob mentality, which is certainly something that manifests today, they should take a look at Lord of the Flies if they can, make the effort. Secondly, the only thing that they can accuse Bill and Hillary Clinton of, these fascists, is of having a social conscience, something which they obviously do not have, and of having normal, human defects of character. It's part of the human condition. And the last point is, I think that, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think that these last few days of the election, Democratic Party has to do something bold. They should try and follow George W. around, get him at a neutral site, and have Bill Clinton pop up and defend his record. I don't think Bush would survive something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're talking about. That's the big debate within the Gore campaign now. Should they trot Clinton out and have him do some active campaigning, or should they keep him in the closet and have Gore keep disassociating himself? I think they're making a bad mistake if they don't trot him out. He's the best campaigner, the best speaker they've got.
I don't necessarily mean active campaigning. I mean, for example...
You mean like corner him in a men's room or something?
No.
Say
he shows up on Letterman, for example.
Yeah.
Okay? All of a sudden, Bill is in the audience. He asked Letterman, hey, can I come up and join the show too?
Too late.
No, but I'm saying what I'm saying is I'm sure that Letterman isn't the last talk show that W is going to do. You know?
Yeah.
They should try and find
I'll
out.
wind up on Dr. Laura next week. Okay, pal. She had dog crap on the floor last week, and she'll have W on next week. 22 before 2 at 560 WQN.
Hello, what's up?
What's up?
What do you want?
What's up?
Oh, it's 3 o'clock.
What's up?
Bye. Hello?
What's up?
I'm fucking sleeping. Hello?
What's up?
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Goodbye.
142 at 560 WQAM. How's our ugliest QM personality contest coming? 168 votes already, and this is our third poll of the day. Hank with 68, Joe Zagacki with 32. We put them together, got an even 100. Yours truly with 15. Joe Rose with 9.
They stunk.
Mandich has got 8. Josh Friedman with 8. Depot has got 7. George with 6. Geldy with 5. Eddie K and Joe Costello with 3. Boog Shambi and Kim Bocamper with 2 apiece. It's a good thing that we took this poll after Boog lost that 300-400 extra pounds he was carrying around. Here's a mobile in Jupiter. Hello.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
On your poll there, the Josh Friedman you're talking about, is that the same one we heard on the radio up in North Palm Beach?
What do you mean North Palm Beach? He's on this radio station every now and then. He's not in North Palm Beach.
92.7 in the afternoon.
No.
The Josh Friedman.
No, different Jew.
Are you?
Yeah.
And second, what's your favorite, Don and Bob's or Shaler's?
Don and Bob's.
There you go.
Hands down.
Take it easy, Neil.
Don't leave out Vic and Irvs. He left out Vic and Irvs. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T, and don't forget Gitzies, or whatever the hell that is. That was Woody. Too bad he didn't get on the air. What a, I'll never forget today I was driving out of the Paxton building there, on the IOD, toward the end, and who comes driving down the street, rolls his window down. Oh, hi, I'm Steve from Hollywood. I'm Woody. Like bragging. Like if I would have had a spear to chuck at that point, I would have chucked it. Right at his rectum, which of course would have been any part of him. Here's Hallandale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Ciao, come va lei? Tutto bene?
Come stai?
Bene. Listen, Neil, let me tell you something. You know, regardless of who's going to win the election, you tell me, we have 270 million people in this country.
Too many.
These 2 morons are running. What the hell are we going to do with
I know.
If this guy, the Finocchio Bush, you know, he wins, I will consider giving up my American citizenship. But anyway, in closing, you know, when you were away on vacation, I listened to George a couple of times, you know, and I mean, it was okay, you know,
It was
no big
okay,
deal.
yeah. It was not great. It was fair.
Let me put it this way, Neil, I've been listening to you for 17 years. Huh?
Yes.
He is no Neil Rogers. Huh?
Well, that's for dang sure.
It's okay, but, you know, I love you anyway, okay?
Okay, Zagazon. No. Okay, phony Italian accent. 5670560. In fact, he probably did that spot we were running before, the one we were talking about multi-Benny or whatever the hell I was. Oh, God. The grossest stuff that gets on the air on this station. Believe me, all these anti-Semites that always, you got all these Jews on the air on your station. Don't worry about it. Believe me, this is a gracious place. Trust me when I tell you. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Fort Myers, hello.
Hi, I had a comment, and I'd like you to see what you think about it. On your first poll, I thought that if Colin Powell was to run as Republican, he'd have walked away with this election.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Based
that?
on what?
Well, he'd be a more popular vote.
Based on what?
Well, because he's a war hero, and he's probably more trustworthy than either of them.
But first of all, he's got absolutely no qualification to be president, number one, and number two, he's black.
That was the basis.
And the point I made, that was the basis of the poll, and what I said before, I believe, and that is that in a poll, people will say, oh yeah, we'll vote for a black person for our president, but then when they go to the polling place, I think it's, that's light years away.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, could you just mention the out-of-town line one more time?
Okay.
Thanks.
Out-of-town line, 877. It's a horrible number, 877-785-6345. Okay? In fact, we got a mobile in Fort Lauderdale on it. Hello?
Yeah, hey, it's Chris.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Listen, you are the best. I've been out of town for like 2 or 3 years. It's great to hear you. It makes me laugh. People think I'm an idiot driving around laughing.
Tell them to screw off. They don't like it. Give them a high sign.
Listen, I got an idea for these Nader's Raiders. I work with one of them. He drives me nuts. He's hopeless, terminal. And he's like, I don't know, he's trying to make a point, some vain point. But I was listening to the radio yesterday, and they had these liberals throwing away their vote, and they said, well, what we're going to do is, with some of our Nader friends in other states, is we're going to trade our vote. So I'm voting absentee from New York. So I'm going to vote for Nader for him, and convince him to vote for Gore in Florida.
So that's a good deal.
Yeah, so all you terminal Nader types out there, find someone from a state that it doesn't matter.
California.
Exactly.
Right.
Like New York and other, but in Florida, don't waste your vote.
Exactly. Can't afford luxury here. Or those other Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota can't do it. Washington, Oregon can't do it.
It's a great idea.
Okay.
Do the best, Neil.
Thanks a lot, pal.
Bye-bye.
That's not a bad idea. Trade them votes like baseball cards. Yeah, we'll give you one Nader for a Gore, and you can take your Nader and stick it where the moon don't shine, like in New York. Stick it in a sump pump in New York, like in Schenectady would be good. How come I keep thinking about Schenectady so much? I don't think I've ever been. I've been through there, of course.
It's just fun to say.
Schenectady? What's that big station in Schenectady? WG, what is it? 810 on the dial? 50,000 watts? WGR? I think WGR is in Buffalo. Come on, George. 810, Schenectady, New York. I bet you somebody calls. Here's a mobile in West Palm. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just 2 quick points. First of all, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I am going to vote early and often for Gore. But did you ever watch the show Alf on TV?
No.
Oh, there used to be a show called Alf on TV, and Willie on Alf is a dead ringer for the vice presidential candidate. It cracks me up every time I see him. Second of all, I moved here from Detroit, so this is my second time I've had to put up with Mr. Murray, so you can feel sorry for me.
Oh, boy. I don't think you have to wait too much longer. I think the handwriting, like I said before, is on the wall. It's indelible.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, my friend, thanks.
Bye-bye.
11 before 2 at 560 QAM.
This is 560 QAM. The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Ray Whitney has a pair. Kansas City, you're gleaming in eyes. All them flowers, but I keep smelling alive. You're my more pleasure, the way that I'm there. I'm gonna get you lift your underwear, cause I'm all honey news. Honey news. Honey news. Oh, honey news. Oh, honey news. You say you will, but you don't. Please, honey news. That's saying that's just the way it is. All the things are there, you give us a beer. Every time I go there, I want to throw up. It's still not there if I lose the charm. Yes, honey juice. Well, honey juice. Oh, honey juice. Oh, honey juice. Oh, honey juice. You say you will, but you don't. Oh, please, honey juice. I guess it's not safe and I don't want you mad. But if you want pleasure that's between your tires, well, we gotta do something about my watering eyes. Honey news. Oh, honey news. Oh, honey news. Well, honey news. You say you will, but you don't. Oh, please, honey news.
All right. 154 at 560 WQAM. Here's a listener faxes me this letter from a law firm that was working for him. He says his wife was murdered by an HMO, and this firm tried very hard to help. Their letter to all their clients says, for the past 3 years, special interest groups in Tallahassee have been waging a war on the laws that protect the safety and well-being of all Floridians. These groups push their agenda under the guise of tort reform. Their idea of reform is to limit your ability to sue and to be compensated when you or family members injured or killed because of someone else's negligence. This year's election provides a rare opportunity to send a message to these special interest groups by supporting candidates who will fight for Florida's families. John Gillespie, running for Florida Senate District 31, is one of those candidates. He'll fight against the special interest groups who put profits and corporate greed above the safety of families. He'll fight for the civil justice system, HMO reform, and protect the rights and safety of consumers and victims. In addition to John Gillespie's race, it's equally important you vote November 7th for the following candidates who work hard to protect you and your family: President Al Gore, U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, U.S. Representative Elaine Bloom.
Oh!
Thank you, sir, for sharing that with us. Here's a call in Miramar. Hello.
Yeah, you're really intimidated by George W., aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Scares me to death.
Why is that?
Little wimpy turd.
Why is that?
I'm not intimidated. What do you have to say, sir? Besides the attack, what is it you'd like to say?
I'm not attacking. I'm just asking you a question.
I'm not intimidated at all. He couldn't intimidate a fruit fly. Or me.
Well, then why are you always attacking him?
Because I'm discussing the issues. I'm discussing his ability because he's running for president.
So since he's honest and believes in family values...
Was he honest about this? I just got through family values, like being a professional drunk. Is that family values? Like executing mentally retarded people in the state of Texas? Is that family values? Like cozying up to his friends in the oil industry and big business so they can pollute the air so that kids can't even walk out, can't even practice for sports outside in school in Houston because the air is so polluted? Is that family values? Sir, this crap of yours, you and your right-wing friends, it's falling on deaf ears all across America. All these cliches, family values, and bring morality back because you caught Bill Clinton with a couple of blowjobs and you think that you're going to pull the wool over the public's eyes. You're not fooling anybody. Hate isn't a family value. That's one of my favorite bumper stickers, and that's what he represents, including morons like you. I'm intimidated. I'm not intimidated by him or by you, okay, Mr. Asshole? He fought in a bipartisan way to get the Patient's Bill of Rights passed in Texas. There's a big lie, number one, and I just got through reading your whole litany of them, but obviously you have a hearing problem. With that big hole there in the middle of your head, it goes in one ear and right out the other. See, then this is the fascinating thing to me. It's always been this way, but I think this election more so than ever before, because now these right-wingers are flexing their muscle again. They see the opening. And that is that if you disagree with them, they have to attack you. They can't attack what you say. They have to attack you and come back with the same mindless generalities and cliches that we heard from W in all three debates. He's the one that can get it done because he can work in a bipartisan way, which totally a lie. And again, conveniently forgetting the fact that a lot of things the administration tried to do in the last 8 years they couldn't do because the Republican Congress was almost unanimously against them on every key vote. Almost unanimous. And in many cases, unanimous. Who the hell are you kidding, mister? Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Good.
Hey, first off, if these people really want to find out, where they really, what these candidates really saying here, there's a great website here, and you go and you say, how you feel about, certain issues.